Chapter 1521. The strength of this super old sacred city had allowed Chen Shang to have a deeper understanding of the Saint realm. It's been a long time since I've seen him, the change isn't too great. Jilinger brought Chen Shang along as they walked along the busy street, buying a lot of snacks to eat. Although there were a lot of strong warriors, there were still a lot of weak ones. Jilinger was very familiar with this place. Along the way, she had passed by many shops that she was very familiar with, and they were all food sellers. Those things were all not ordinary, and required holy stone as to buy them. Hurry up and tell me what you need to do to quickly increase your strength. Chen Shang didn't have the time to stroll around here with her. Let's have fun again. I've been in charge of supervising the mine for almost 100 years, so of course I'll enjoy myself now. Jilinger had 2 million kilograms of holy stone, so she could buy some things that she previously couldn't. Chen Shang took this opportunity to take advantage of her, using the reason of helping his wife buy things as a reason to get her to help buy more than 10 sets of clothes that weren't bad for women. Those were for Su Meiyao and, as well as some jewelry and such. In order to curry favor with Chen Shang, Jilinger was extremely generous. As long as she met someone Chen Shang liked, she would pay. Little Linger, do you have any pills to sell here? Chen Shang asked. He had followed Jilinger around for the majority of the day, but he had never seen a shop that sold medicinal pellets. Of course I do, but I can't help you buy it. It's rather expensive, and the reason why I brought you here is because there are a lot of medicinal pills for sale. If you use the 1 million caddies of holy stone here, you should be able to break through quickly. Jilinger muttered. My holy stone also wants to buy pills for myself, I also need to increase my strength. Then why didn't I see those pill shops? Chen Shang looked around. It was just like a normal market. The super old sacred city is divided into many districts, and right now, this district specializes in the sale of clothes, and then there is the sacred transformation sector, where people from the immortal becoming realm are mainly gathered. The medicinal ingredients and weapons sold there are also specially provided for people of this rank, and there is also the heaven sacred district, where people with my strength go to. Jilinger smelled a bunch of fresh flowers that she had just bought, and smelled that flower's fragrance. She closed her eyes and enjoyed that beauty, and then passed it in front of Chen Shang, letting him feel the strange fragrance of that bunch of flowers. Chen Shang pushed the bouquet of flowers away and asked, I don't have the power of the immortal becoming realm yet, where should I go? There is no special area here for you. Hee, because it's not good enough. Even though Jilinger said this, she did not have the slightest intention of ridiculing him. In her eyes, Chen Shang was still rather powerful. Go to the area of the immortal becoming realm, there are immortal pills for sale there, it's useful for you. The sky in the sky region was so vast, Chen Shang reckoned that it should be as big as the heaven realm, and it was even better developed than the 9 heaven world. Holy stone could be directly used to absorb the holy spirit chi inside, but if there was a high-level immortal pill working together, that would be for the best. Even if I eat immortal pills, my cultivation speed will be the same. I won't be that fast. Although Chen Shang had not stepped into the immortal becoming realm, he still understood it well. You should still be in the immortal king stage, right? Let's talk about this after you enter the immortal king stage late phase. Jilinger brought Chen Shang into the sacred transformation sector. Upon arriving, Chen Shang immediately discovered that this place was very different from the previously chaotic regions. There were less people here, but all of them belonged to the immortal becoming realm. Chen Shang secretly sighed with emotion. 9 heaven world must have been very strong back then, and the number of people in the immortal becoming realm should have been no less. Are you familiar with this place? After Chen Shang entered the sacred transformation sector, he had a very special purpose. Of course I'm familiar with it. This was where I passed the time when I was using the immortal becoming realm. Jilinger had indeed stayed here before, and had even left behind a good mansion. Are you not afraid of Ji-clan finding out if you live here? Chen Shang anxiously pulled Jilinger back. What's there to be afraid of? Back then, when I was in trouble, I was always hiding here. Jilinger shook off Chen Zhang's hand, took out a jade tablet and opened the door to the residence. After pulling Chen Shang in, he opened up some formation enchantments. Jilinger stood in the courtyard and laughed. This place is not bad, right? Back then, I spent a lot of effort to get this place. Although the yard had been left unattended for many years and had grown some weeds, it still looked pretty good. There were some strange bamboo and the houses were also elegantly built. Jilinger and Chen Shang spent less than an hour to finish up the house. At this time, Chen Shang really wanted to go over to the pill shops to take a look. He was the best at concocting pills. He wanted to see what the alchemist here looked like. Little Ling are you not going to the Heaven Sacred District? Chen Shang did not want to be with Ji Ling right now. He wanted to go out and walk around by himself. No, I only see grade 8 and above elixirs, but even in Heaven Sacred District S there are very few. I might as well use the holy stone to cultivate, so I will stay here to accompany you in your cultivation and protect you. Ji Ling played with his hair, and laughed. You want to get rid of me? Of course not, I just want to take a walk by myself. Chen Shang shook his head. If you go out and do bad things by yourself, then I want to be with you even more. Doing bad things in super old sacred city and getting caught is very troublesome. Ji Ling revealed a sly smile. Seems like she had already done a lot of bad things here. Ever since he saw that Ji Ling wanted to keep the 3 million kilogram holy stone for himself, Chen Shang knew that she wasn't a good bird. Okay, I'll take you, but you have to listen to me. Chen Shang said with an commanding tone. Yes, Ling Ji Ling laughed mischievously. Chen Shang walked to the door and immediately opened it. After walking out of the house, she obediently followed beside Chen Shang, making him feel that she was an outstanding female slave. Little Ling is there any alchemist here that can refine a holy pellet? Chen Shang felt that the sky region's refining level should be higher than the 9 heaven worlds. Of course there are, however, there are only a few of them and it's very difficult to find them. You have to eat the holy elixir? Ji Ling asked. Of course not, I'm not afraid to tell you, I am also an alchemist. Chen Shang smiled and said, if possible, I'm more inclined to eat by myself. Really? Ji Ling had a face full of disbelief, as he looked at Chen Shang from head to toe, as if looking at him in a new light. Chen Shang laughed. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. Chapter 1522. Ji Ling stuck out her tongue. Even if you are, you should be one of those unranked alchemists. There are too many of these alchemists here, I'll catch a bunch of them. Chen Shang heard her footsteps, turned his head and looked at her. How can I be considered a mediocre alchemist? Ji Ling's eyes turned. He thought for a moment, at the very least, you can concoct immortal pills, and with your current cultivation, you are not even at the immortal becoming realm, you should be unable to concoct immortal pills, right? Chen Shang laughed. I'm sorry, I can coincidentally concoct immortal pills, even though it's just a first-grade immortal pill. Ji Ling was startled for a moment. She had indeed not expected this, and then pouted playfully. Even if I can refine it, it would probably be that kind of lousy stuff. Chen Shang did not tell her more because he realized that the pill refining industry in the heavenly realm was not as developed as he had imagined. At the very least, it could not be compared to the 9 heaven world. In this place, most of the people who were able to concoct immortal pills were only using immortal becoming realm, so Chen Shang did not understand either. At this moment, he was even more curious about the super old sacred city's pill refining industry. Under Ji Ling's guidance, he came to one of the pill stores in the sacred transformation area. It was called the Heavenly Cauldron Pill Store. The inside of the Heaven's Mandate pill shop was very spacious. Once they entered, it became a very extravagant exhibition hall. The decorations were very luxurious. The old man in charge of selling pills could feel that the chi on Ji Ling was not ordinary, and he also brought in a very weak rookie. Powerful seniors bringing their juniors to buy medicinal pills was a very normal thing. Furthermore, they were usually very large in quantity. Welcome, esteemed guests, to our Heavenly Cauldron restaurant. We have many types of pills here, and there will definitely be one suitable for you. If the quantity is too great, we will also get a discount. The old man said with a smile. Ji Ling looked at Chen Shang, signaling him to speak. Do you have a Tianlong Dan here? Chen Shang asked. Heavens A, Tianlong A. The old man was at a loss for words. This no. Where's the high-grade sacred animal Dan, 3rd grade immortal, 4th grade immortal? Chen Shang asked again. The old man took a deep breath, shook his head and said, no, not even these kinds of pills. It's mainly for the beasts, especially the Tianlong Dan. That was something the primordial dragon clan created to strengthen their own race. What about the low-ranked sacred animal Dan? It's of the 1st or 2nd grade immortal grade. Chen Shang asked again. No, the beasts like to eat these, so they easily discovered it, so it's very difficult for us to pick them. Perhaps the clans and sects that raise saint beasts should have them and they rarely buy them, so we don't have any. The old man quickly explained and then looked at Chen Shang in confusion. He asked in a small voice, "Little brother, are you really not a person?" Chen Shang was speechless. "Of course I'm human." Jilinger patted the old man's shoulder, and said, "He's still a little fairy, hurry up and go up if you want to eat any pills. Of course, this is the first choice for you Shandan. If you want to save Holy Stone, then buy a large amount of first-grade immortals, and buy third-grade immortals as soon as possible. But I recommend that second-grade immortals you Shandan are not very expensive, and they are not very slow." The old man chuckled. "I think that he would need at least 1,000 of those level 2 immortal Yushandan to help him reach the late stage of the Immortal King stage. At that time, he would use a large number of them to purchase a holy transformation pill, directly entering the immortal becoming realm, and begin to step into the 9 transformation saint level. 1,000 stage 2 immortal Yushandan indeed had such an effect. If it were an ordinary person, perhaps it would be just as the old man had predicted, but he was not an ordinary person. He had 5 unique heaven pills in his body, and his innate chi had already been converted into holy energy. How many holy stone are there in 10,000 of them? Jilinger knew that Chen Shang was different from the others, so she budgeted more Yushandan. 100,000 jin. The old man quickly said, "I can give you some benefits, it's only 98,000 kilograms of holy stone." Just as Jilinger was about to buy it, Chen Shang interrupted her and asked, "Then how much are you selling the second stage immortal stage Yuling bamboo shoots for?" He would feel heartache for a while, because he felt that it was a bit asymmetrical to use the holy stone to buy immortal pills. The holy stone could extract a large amount of holy energy, and it would be of great help to him when he enters the immortal becoming realm. Yuling bamboo shoots S are the only materials used to refine Yushandan S. They can only be refined 1 pellet per furnace, and the price of medicinal ingredients is usually half that of immortal pellets. A second-grade immortal Yushandan S is 10 caddies per pellet, and the price of medicinal ingredients is 5 caddies per pellet. Originally, he thought that Chen Shang would buy Yushandan, but who knew that he would actually buy some medicinal ingredients to refine for his elders. Jilinger frowned. Just now, Chen Shang had said that he knew how to refine Tier 1 immortal pills, but now that it's Tier 2, why would he want to buy a Tier 2 one? Just as she was about to speak, Chen Shang said again, 1,000 of these 3 kilograms of holy stone, then you can give me 10 of them. Little brother, you must be joking. I already said before that I want 5 kilograms of holy stone. The old man chuckled. Then forget it, let's go. Chen Shang used his ultimate killing technique, turned and walked away. Although medicinal herbs were precious, those that could be grown in large quantities would usually not reach half of the pill. At most, it would only reach 30%. Although this was the heavenly realm, it was still a good idea to try it out everywhere. Jilinger did not understand. She wanted to pull Chen Shang to buy those Yushandan, so that she could stop tormenting herself. However, Chen Shang did pull her along. "Never mind, I'll just sell it to you." The old man quickly shouted. Selling medicinal materials would earn him a lot of money, but the profit was slightly less than selling immortal pills. Chen Shang took out 3,000 holy stone, bought 1,000 of them, and gave them away as 10. Knew that the other party would definitely sell them. After the successful transaction, he did not continue to stroll around the pill shop in order to not distract himself with other things. Returning back to the house, Jilinger asked in puzzlement, "Why don't you buy Yushandan S and buy medicinal ingredients directly? Didn't you only know how to refine first stage immortal grade S? Furthermore, based on your situation, you need at least 10,000 pills, you only bought 1,000 pills." Chen Shang smiled and caressed her face. "I don't either, but I can learn it. Alchemist isn't someone who can concoct pills from birth, she only learned it step by step. But 1,000 sets of ingredients. How long will it take for that to happen? I'd rather be locked up for 1,000 years than concocting 1,000 batches of pills. I'll die." Jilinger pouted. Chen Shang couldn't tell her the exact answer, but he felt that it would be more worthwhile doing it this way. Chapter 1523. I'm going to start concocting pills, you go and play. Chen Shang said. He now treated Jilinger as a weird little girl. I want to see you concoct pills. Can I stay by the side? Jilinger rolled her eyes and said coquettishly, I won't disturb you, I just wanted to see how you were doing. Seeing Jilinger's look of despise, he knew that Jilinger was doubting his ability to refine pills. Let me ask you, are holy stone that heavy? If it was you, how long would it take to use the proper method? Chen Shang was also very curious about this, because when he found out that they had lost 3 million kilograms of holy stone, the elders of the Ji clan were very angry. It's not easy to get, only selling saint beasts can come fast, but the saint beasts around here are not weak, and they can't be easily caught either. A saint beast is only worth around 100,000 caddies of holy stone. If you're lucky, it would take more than 20 years to track one. Ji Linger thought for a while, then said, if I were to help the Ji clan with some chores, and go out to fight and kill them, with only 1,000 kilogram holy stone, it would take me at least 100 years to gather 100,000 kilograms, and this is under the condition of having other things to do. However, I am very powerful. Through the competition within the clan, I can compete to be the guard of the mine, so I can make a lot of money. This time, I got 2 million caddies, hee hee. Quote. Ji Linger, this kind of relatively powerful, heaven person, could only earn 1,000 holy stone per year. However, she definitely had other methods to earn some extra money, but she could still see that the holy stone was more precious. No wonder she took the risk of taking all of those 3 million kilograms of holy stone. With my current strength, I can only use holy stone to increase my strength. High-grade immortal pills are too little and expensive, so holy stone are very lacking. Ji Linger said. Chen Shang pinched her face. Then why did you let me buy those 10,000 pieces of Yushan Dan, taking away 100,000 kilograms in an instant? You must be trying to scam me. Nope, she wants to buy it for you. Ji Linger's face was filled with hidden bitterness. In the future, without my permission, don't randomly buy those immortal pills. I am an alchemist, so I can only eat the pills refined by myself. Chen Shang said, just like the refiner, he only used the weapons he refined himself. There was only a secret room here, but it was quite spacious. After Ji Linger brought Chen Shang in, he cleaned up a bit and even made a bed for a bed. Why are you doing this? Chen Shang really didn't understand. When refining pills, doesn't it take a year and a half? I can't just sit there and watch, taking a bath, sleeping, eating, and so on. They shouldn't affect you, right? Ji Linger said naively, if you want to refine 1,000 batches, it would take at least 100 years. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, foolish girl who has never seen the world, I will definitely broaden your horizons in a while. Ji Linger could not accept it, and snorted, you're so weak, what right do you have to mock me? You're the one who has never seen the world. When I first came to super old sacred city, you had a bump-like expression. I even want to laugh when I think about it. I am the eldest daughter of the Ji clan's patriarch after all, and I have also been to the sacred top. I have watched people ascend the divine road on scene, and not just anyone can leave this sacred domain. I am the eldest daughter of the Ji clan's patriarch, and I have also watched people ascend the divine avenue on sight. Chen Shang gently caressed her face and laughed. I am indeed a country bumpkin in other aspects, but I have absolute confidence in refining pills. You just need to watch. That's more like it. I was chosen into the top 10 holy maiden of every 10,000 years in super old sacred city. I only got the 12th place, but I am still very powerful, no? Ji Linger hugged his chest proudly. Why didn't he enter the top 10? Chen Shang asked. Which 10,000 years? It was 10,000 years ago. However, I have fallen to the 20th place in this 10,000 year. Why haven't I been ranked A? The main reason is because I don't care, because I didn't show myself to the public before the selection, so I didn't enter the rankings. However, the saints that are ranked in the top 3 are all genuine, and have very beautiful looks, high standing, and authority. Only if they speak out, a large number of fools would be willing to serve them at any time. Ji Linger hugged his chest, with a face full of anger. I don't want to become this kind of woman. Chen Shang took out the Yanlong furnace, and laughed. So that means, after I become strong, I can obtain you, a holy maiden who might even reach the top. And now, you still serve me, and are even following me by my side. Ji Linger raised his head, his face full of arrogance. Of course, now you know how powerful I am, right? Chen Shang began to refine pills. Ji Linger laid on her clothes, waiting for the beautiful eyes to look at him, showing an extremely peaceful expression. Although she could not understand, she was looking very seriously, but her gaze was mainly focused on Chen Shang. 2 hours later, Chen Zhang's pill furnace released a bang sound. The furnace blew up. I know that. Ji Linger chuckled from the side. It's more or less what I expected. The reason you bought those medicinal ingredients was so that you could explode inside the pill furnace. Blast your sister, this is called a mistake. Said in a bad mood. He had blown up, but for the alchemist who was concocting a level 2 immortal pill for the first time, this was very normal. Jilinger laughed even more happily now. Hurry and push the blame for your mistake onto me. Say that it's because of affected you, then you'll feel much better. I do not have the habit of shirking my responsibilities. Even if you call for the top 10 of the Holy Maiden ranking and strip naked in front of me, I would still not be affected. Chen Shang was very confident. He had already experienced this kind of test a long time ago, and the main responsibility was Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. Next, he began the second batch of Yuling bamboo shoots S. When he bought the first 10, he asked the old man to give him 10, because he had already predicted that the initial stages would fail. Jilinger charmingly laughed, her laughter carrying a captivating allure. It was clear that she had received training in this area before. She then slowly took off the dress on her upper body, revealing her beautiful collarbone. The skirt slid down, revealing a pair of round, partially wrapped snow peaks. The flame when you refine pills makes me so hot. Jilinger twisted her snow-white slim waist and coiled her long black hair. She spoke with a soft and charming voice, which was extremely alluring. Chen Shang calmly sat there controlling the flames in the furnace and used the god purification to burn the Yuling bamboo shoots. He turned and looked at Jilinger who was trying to seduce him and said indifferently, with your level, you want to seduce me. Since it's boring to refine pills anyway, why don't you make it even more intense? Otherwise, it would be hard to break my state of mind. Seeing Chen Zhang's expression, Jilinger was very disappointed, as if the beautiful her was called ugly by others. She started to untie the cloth covering her chest, which was made up of thin white silk that had wrapped itself around her chest. Chapter 1524. Jilinger saw that Chen Shang had turned his head around, so he slowed down his pace even more. It had been a long time since he last made a circle, but now, he could faintly make out a faint blush. Jilinger, who was originally a little proud, saw that Chen Zhang's eyes were not burning hot like she had imagined. Hurry up, why are you dawdling? Chen Shang chuckled. Although he said that, it gave people a feeling that it was not important. Jilinger grumbled, but she did not continue to remove the veil, but instead wrapped it around her, because she did not plan to take it off for Chen Shang to see. She only wanted to enchant Chen Shang to see if it was truly as strong as he said, and not be affected at all. Now she truly believed that Chen Zhang's mental fortitude was beyond ordinary, but she was still disappointed in herself, and actually did not move Chen Zhang's heart. It wasn't that Chen Shang hadn't seen beautiful women's bodies before, but rather, he had seen many of them. Jilinger put on his clothes and lied down on the bed, drinking some delicious ditty as he watched Chen Shang concoct pills. Although it was best if no one disturbed Chen Shang when he was refining pills, it was very boring. A beauty was humming a tune beside him, which Chen Shang enjoyed very much. Had refined quite a number of level 1 immortal Yushan Dan before, but now, while refining the level 2, even though he was using the Yuling bamboo shoots, he felt that it was extremely strange and hard to refine it. Because Chen Shang used the god purification, Su Meiyao's pointers were very limited. She could only tell him the specialties of the medicinal herbs and the things he should pay attention to. Jilinger looked at Chen Zhang's Yanlong furnace in a daze, not knowing why she had the time to do so. Just as she was about to lose her train of thought, an explosion suddenly occurred, scaring her to the point that her delicate body trembled. It exploded again. Jilinger laughed. Do you even know how to refine pills? You already wasted 2 sets of ingredients in one go. Chen Shang wiped off the sweat on his face and said, this is my first time refining a Yushan Dan of this level. Failing 2 times is normal, but when I succeed, it's fine as long as I don't get scared. Success means success, what's there to be afraid of? Jilinger said casually. From what she knew, successfully refining a batch of pills was normal, how could it scare people? Chen Shang opened the pill furnace and looked at the scattered medicine aura, frowning and thinking. I used the 5 elements sacred flame, which was enough during the burning process. Although it's a little difficult to use divine power to refine the spirit, I can still handle it. Why did the Yuling bamboo shoot suddenly explode when I was halfway through it? Chen Shang told Su Meiyao about this discovery. Although Su Meiyao did not understand god purification, she was an experienced Dan Immortal and might be able to give him a solution. Give Shui Yi a stock, let her see if there's anything wrong with the Yuling bamboo shoots itself. There was one in Su Meiyao's hand, so when she looked at it carefully, she felt that this Yuling bamboo shoots was a little different. Chen Shang did not notice this problem. He had checked on the Yuling bamboo shoots' medicinal strength to be at the Immortal second rank, but he did not pay much attention to the others, and when he was refining, he did not find any difference. Long Shui quickly ate one of it. She chewed on the Yuling bamboo shoots and said with a bitter face, "It's not tasty at all. It's very old, very hard to chew, and a bit bitter." The Yuling bamboo shoots of the first stage of the Immortal realm was very delicious, it was sweet and crispy. Quote. Chen Shang asked, "There's something wrong with these Yuling bamboo shoots?" Long Shui swallowed the last bit of Yuling bamboo shoots with difficulty. "The problem is that there isn't any, the medicinal power contained inside is still very strong. It's possible that these Yuling bamboo shoots were grown using other methods, which resulted in them being different from the 9 heaven worlds Yuling bamboo shoots." Seeing Chen Shang standing there in a daze, Ji Ling lightly shouted, "What's wrong? Little Ling, how do you grow the herbs here?" Chen Shang felt that the Sky Realm's medicinal herbs probably weren't produced using an array, it wasn't something that grew in a natural state. It's very simple. Cultivators of the water attribute are able to release a very powerful type of holy water through some techniques, condensing it into rain clouds and suddenly watering the medicinal herbs. This can allow the growth of medicinal herbs and things like that to increase rapidly. Ji Ling said, "Isn't that place yours?" "No, other than this, are there any other steps?" Chen Shang asked again. "Yes, I've heard that when these medicinal herbs grow, they are divided into several stages. Every time a stage is reached, someone will channel energy into the medicinal herbs, allowing them to grow steadily with great medicinal effects." Ji Ling laughed. "I learned it before, but it's too boring. In the end, I give up, but if I can control it well, I can still earn a lot of holy stone." Chen Shang nodded. He now understood why when he was refining Yuling bamboo shoots, it would always explode out of nowhere. It was because inside these medicinal ingredients, there were still some sacred energy left over from others, all carried the consciousness of the original owner. If he used the foreseeing alchemy, it wouldn't have any effect. But his God purification was different. The God purification wanted to suppress all sorts of spiritual energy within the medicinal ingredients so that they would not be able to resist, and then perfectly refine them into medicine auras and medicinal powders. Knowing this makes things much easier. Chen Shang took out a Yuling bamboo shoots. As soon as he released his divine power, a large amount of his mental power gushed into the Yuling bamboo shoots. Then, he activated the devouring magic Kung Fu and swallowed all the remaining spiritual power within the Yuling bamboo shoots. He had to master this process well, otherwise, he would absorb the spiritual energy inside the Yuling bamboo shoots. Right now, he could only absorb a portion of the spiritual energy that carried a human consciousness, it did not affect the Yuling bamboo shoots at all. Will it work this time? Ji Ling saw Chen Shang put another Yuling bamboo shoots into the furnace and began refining the third furnace. Chen Shang did not answer, but in his heart, he already had an answer. Chen Zhang's god power was like a wave as it rhythmically surged towards the inner parts of the Yuling bamboo shoots, causing it to give up on defending, allowing his flames to quickly decompose the Yuling bamboo shoots. Ji Ling saw that Chen Shang had been working on it seriously for more than 6 hours, and felt that Chen Shang had improved a lot compared to the previous 2 times, because the furnace had exploded very quickly. The pill furnace swayed for a bit, and Ji Ling immediately looked at it seriously. But not long after, she heard a soft sound coming from the furnace, causing her to feel depressed. What a powerful Yuling bamboo shoots! Chen Shang was sweating profusely, but his face was full of joy. He realized that the Yuling bamboo shoots of the Saint Realm had a great advantage, that was, the medicinal power contained within them were extremely rich, which made it so that he did not expect that the moment the Yuling bamboo shoots was broken up, the boundless medicinal power would suddenly burst forth, catching him completely off guard, and causing him to be unable to react in time, and only then would it explode. Chapter 1525. What are you so happy about? Ji Ling did not understand, she only knew a little about pill refining. Since she was young, she knew that she was not an ingredient in pill refining, so she did not think it was necessary for her to be familiar with this area. Nothing, just that this Yuling bamboo shoots is better than I thought. Chen Shang laughed and wiped away the perspiration on his face. During the continuous concocting of pills, he had to hit hard on his mind and release a large amount of flames, which was why he was sweating so much. Ji Ling didn't understand and stuck out his tongue. Go and take a shower. You have been continuously going on for half a day and you will also need to rest. I feel tired for you just by looking at it. It's nothing, I'm used to it. Chen Shang laughed and walked towards the bathroom Jilinger had built. It was only separated by a simple screen, and there was a relatively large bath inside. Jilinger walked over, took out a small gold bottle, and poured some water into the bath. This water is no ordinary water. When I was at the mining field, I collected a lot of underground spring water that was soaked by holy stone. After Jilinger had filled the bath, she smiled charmingly. Do you want me to go with you? Chen Shang chuckled. That would be for the best. He stripped off his clothes in front of Jilinger and jumped into the bath. Jilinger said with a red face and a tender smile, you wish. Chen Shang heated up the water in the bath until it boiled, and the holy energy that was contained in the water entered his body even more quickly removing the fatigue from his body. Lying on his back in the bath, he closed his eyes, channeled the 9-turn dragon god mantra, and absorbed the dense holy energy into his body through the 9-turn dragon god mantra. Chen Shang returned to the side of the furnace. He did not expect that the holy stone's water would have such an effect. After taking a bath, it allowed his condition to its peak, allowing him to feel that the energy in his body was boiling. The energy contained within this Yuling bamboo shoots is able to allow me to condense at least 3 or even 4 pills. Chen Shang took out a Yuling bamboo shoots, exorcised the human spirit inside, and placed it into the pill furnace. This was also why he was so happy. Because of the special planting method used by the heaven, the energy within the spirit herbs was different from that of the 9 heaven world, and it was concentrated with a large amount of high-quality energy. Having had previous experiences of failure, he was able to discover many problems. As long as he could avoid those problems, he would be on the verge of success. Because he did not completely master how to refine a second-stage Immortal Yushan Dan, Chen Shang did not use the Yanlong furnace's formation to increase his speed. That ability to increase speed could only be used after being completely familiar with it, otherwise, it would have been used right from the start, and would have easily failed. Very quickly, 6 hours had passed. Jilinger had been calculating the time, and when it was this time, she became more alert, because it was right at this time that Chen Shang failed. She wanted to see if Chen Shang could hold on longer than before. He's coming. The Yuling bamboo shoots inside the pill furnace was about to melt, and in that instant, it produced a huge amount of medicine auras and medicinal powders. Chen Shang immediately released his strongest power to suppress it, and this energy, that was concentrated in the Yuling bamboo shoots, made Chen Shang ecstatic once again. It's over, Jilinger thought in her heart. Seeing Chen Zhang's calm face, unlike those previous tense times where she knew Chen Shang was gradually nearing success, she couldn't help but be a little excited. She continued to lie down and hum a small tune, waiting for the results. Chen Shang was ecstatic in his heart. I never thought that there would be so many medicine aura and medicinal powders. I wonder how they grew them, which actually allowed the medicinal herbs to compress their own energy. I wonder how many pills he can condense. Su Meiyao asked. Under normal circumstances, it would be 1 pellet, and this heaven realm seems to be the same. Chen Shang laughed. If it was any other alchemist, they would have opened the lid to let a portion of the energy flow out just now. This way, although I could have avoided the explosion, it would have been too wasteful, and I could have controlled it. Jilinger had already eaten a second-stage immortal grade Yushan Dan before, so she had a very good understanding of the price of Yushan Dan's. If Chen Shang was able to refine them, and only bought medicinal ingredients in the future, it would save her a lot of effort. However, she was worried about the time because she knew that it would take a relatively long time to refine all these Yushan Dan. Just as Jilinger was thinking, Chen Zhang's pill furnace started shaking again. Is it going to explode? Jilinger anxiously shouted. Nope. Chen Shang forced a smile as beads of perspiration dripped from his forehead. Previously, when he was refining pills, he had compressed a large amount of medicine aura and medicinal powder, but none of them were comparable to this time's second-grade immortal grade S. This was because the large mass of medicine aura inside the pill furnace was different from the medicinal powder, and it had been condensed to the same size as the previous time. However, Chen Shang had a lot of experience compressing this kind of violent energy. In just an hour, he was able to compress it together and enter the core formation stage. The ball of mist was extremely thick, and after Chen Shang took a deep breath, he used his divine power to split it into 5 groups. This situation seems to be the latter stage of the core formation stage. Jilinger was a little shocked, because it had only been 6 hours. If he had used this kind of time to refine a batch of Yushan Dan, it would be extremely fast, and she understood this point rather well. Chen Shang steadied the furnace, and the 5 balls of mist inside started to gather up, slowly condensing into a solid state, then condensing into a pill. It's done, the quality is very high. If you work a little harder, you might be able to give out some light. Chen Shang let out a long breath, and relaxed his tensed body. Jilinger frowned. He got up quickly and walked to Chen Zhang's side and asked, "You have finished refining the first furnace?" Chen Shang nodded. "What's wrong? Why are you so fast? Although I don't concoct pills, I know that a rookie like you would need at least 2 to 3 days to concoct a batch of Immortal Grade 2 Yushandan." Jilinger's face was filled with disbelief as he reached his hand out to open the lid of the pill furnace. A thick medicinal fragrance immediately rushed out and a gentle white light flickered inside the pill furnace. After the mist dissipated, Jilinger let out a cry of shock. Her beautiful eyes stared wide open as she opened her mouth wide and turned her head to look at Chen Shang. This was really forged by you." Quote. Jilinger saw that there were 5 high-quality, Immortal Grade 2, Yushandan in the pill furnace, but to her knowledge, this was definitely not possible. A single batch or 2 was already very powerful, and only a few Dan Immortal could do that, but Chen Shang being able to get 5 at a time gave her a big shock. Chapter 1526. Chen Shang smiled and nodded. "Let's try one pellet and see if it is made delicious by those famous masters." Jilinger immediately took out one pellet and placed it into her mouth. She gently stirred it and swallowed it before praising, "The quality is very high, this is probably the Yushandan with the highest quality that I have eaten." "How did you make it?" "It's concocted like this, didn't you see it earlier?" Chen Shang chuckled. "The progress is much more smooth than I thought." Now that Jilinger saw him in a new light, she knew that not only was Chen Zhang's cultivation mysterious, he was also very good at refining pills. She said, "You still have 1,000 sets of ingredients left in your possession, that means you can refine 5,000 Yushandans, which is only 1,000 kilograms. If we buy 1,000 more for refinement, we will have 10,000 Yushandan, and we will be able to sell them for 100,000 jin, but the cost is only 6,000 jin. It seems like we will have to earn a cramp." He knew that Chen Shang was not ordinary, and their relationship did not develop by much either. Right now, in her eyes, Chen Shang was just a rooster who knew how to kill holy stone. "I will go and buy a large number of Grade 2 Immortal Yuling bamboo shoots now. We will have 5 million kilograms of holy stone very soon, even 100 million kilograms." Jilinger was extremely excited and was about to leave the secret room. Chen Shang anxiously pulled her along. "Little Linger, the reason why I'm refining Yushandan is to increase my strength. Once I become stronger, I can start concocting pills faster and reach a higher level. Also, with so many pills, it won't be easy to get rid of them. You are also being chased by the Ji clan, so it's best to keep a low profile right now." Jilinger took a few deep breaths and calmed herself down. She was truly too agitated before. "After your strength has increased, you won't run away, right?" Jilinger was a little worried. In her eyes, Chen Shang was a treasure. Not only could he teach her the changing technique, he could also use such a brilliant method to quickly earn a large amount of holy stone. "When that time comes, of course, I will leave this place. However, before I leave, I will earn a sum of money before leaving. At that time, you will have benefits." Chen Shang smiled and pinched her cute nose. "You stay by my side, I'm not so bored while concocting pills." Jilinger laughed. "If you need me, I can accompany you for a lifetime." Chen Shang sat down and prepared to continue concocting pills. He also felt that with his pill refining abilities, he could earn a large amount of holy stone, and when the time came, he could buy some medicinal ingredients before returning. "Linger, if I had a lot of holy stone, would I be able to meet the pill saint here?" Chen Shang asked. There were people here who knew how to refine holy pellets, then there would be pill saints. "You want to eat the holy elixir?" Jilinger asked. "I'm not too sure either, but if you need to see, you can try." "No, I have a friend who is injured. He needs a holy elixir to cure him," Chen Shang said. "Oh, what kind of injury is that?" Jilinger asked curiously. "Even if I'm wounded in the eyes, I probably won't need a holy pellet." Chen Shang was also not clear about Su Meiyao's and Bai Yuyu's injuries. Their abilities were only at the mid to late stage Immortal King, and they did not need any holy pellets, but Su Meiyao had never mentioned that kind of injury. "I'll go out, I'll show her," Su Meiyao suddenly said. "Sister Meiyao, you're coming out." Chen Shang was very surprised. "It's alright, there are no enemies in this heaven realm. My enemies should be in the 9 heaven world, so there's no need to be afraid." She's not bad to you, and she's very strong, so you don't need to worry about me. Su Meiyao chuckled, but she might be scared when she sees me suddenly appear. I'll go out and get some fresh air as well. Bai Yuyu also said, she has passed the 9 revolutions saint, maybe she has a way to make us better. Fine, Chen Shang said. Even if he did not agree, Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu could freely go in and out. Jilinger was waiting for Chen Shang to answer, but suddenly, 2 rays of light flashed out. Sensing that there was someone else's aura, Jilinger immediately became vigilant. They're the ones who got hurt. As Chen Shang looked at the 2 women who had suddenly appeared, and saw Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu's absolutely beautiful appearance, an unexplainable emotion surged in his heart. He remembered the first time he saw them, and all these things that happened over the years. Su Meiyao was charming and gentle, her charm was alluring, wearing a purple dress, it gave her a noble and beautiful temperament. Looked the same as before, but Chen Shang knew that her heart was different from the geniuses from the past. He could see it from the softness in her eyes. She admitted that Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were indeed a rare pair of exceptional beauties. Now, she sort of understood why Chen Shang could resist her temptation. Big Sister Ling, can you help look at our injuries? Su Meiyao smiled sweetly. This little girl's name is Su Meiyao, this is my senior sister Bai Yuyu, she doesn't like to talk, please forgive her. Hello. Bai Yuyu revealed a rare smile as he greeted Jilinger. Jilinger laughed, you guys are much more polite than this guy. Afterwards, she held Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu's hands and led them to the bedside to let them sit. Relax, I'm going to check your bodies. Jilinger placed his hands on top of Bai Yuyu's and Su Meiyao's abdomen. A moment later, Jilinger exclaimed and could not help but say, you guys are still virgins, aren't you the brats' wives? Su Meiyao chuckled, that little scoundrel met us when he was still a child. We were already heavily injured at that time. Then she blushed and said, I can be considered his wife now. This little scoundrel is quite good. Did you see anything? Chen Shang asked. It's a very strange injury. They all have a strange power inside their bodies and it has been devouring the energy inside their dantian all this time. As long as their dantian can condense that power, it will be devoured. Jilinger said as his brows furrowed, the energy within their dantian has been dispersed, but their foundation is still considered stable. They really need a type of sacred pill to recover their original strength. Jilinger frowned. However, if we don't expel that strange power from their bodies, even if they took the holy pellet, they would quickly return to their original state. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu seem to know it too. Big Sister Ling, can you help us get rid of that strange power? Bai Yuyu asked. Jilinger laughed and said, of course I can, but I need some time. But as repayment, you all have to tell me some interesting things about this brat. Su Meiyao looked at Chen Shang and chuckled. No problem, some of his matters aren't secret either. Chapter 1527. Chen Shang was still quite confident of his own shady background. He didn't have a lot of dark history, so he wasn't afraid of Su Meiyao saying anything. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu sat on the bed. Facing Jilinger, Jilinger placed both of his hands on her chest. The person who can release this kind of strange power should be very strong. Jilinger frowned. Right now, I can only help you force it out. Without that strange power, your situation should be able to improve. Chen Shang had asked around about some things regarding Su Meiyao previously, but because they were mistaken for dead many years ago, their reputation had gradually decreased. Only the older generation could remember them, so he did not know much about them, nor did he know who their real enemies were. On the other hand, because Bai Ziqian had returned and used the magical corruption gas, her reputation was still there. Chen Shang continued refining the Yushan Dan of the Immortal second stage. With his previous success, it would be difficult for him to fail next, and he had not used the time acceleration array inside the Yanlong furnace yet, as he was still not familiar with the Immortal second stage Yushan Dan. Linger, how long will it take for you to help them force out that strange power? Chen Shang asked. I'm not sure yet, it will take at least a few months. Jilinger sighed. They still have a foundation, they only need to recover their dantian to recover to their original state, but they need a holy core to do so. You might be able to meet a pill saint who knows how to concoct elixirs in the heavenly realm, but if you can't concoct the elixir, then it will be useless. Don't expect the elixir to help you sell the elixir. Su Meiyao said, I have almost collected all the medicinal ingredients. If I can find the pill saint, it shouldn't be difficult for him to refine them. This would require at least 1 or 2 types of holy level medicinal herbs. I never thought that you would be able to find them in the 9 heaven world. Jilinger was a little surprised. The holy levels were just as precious in the heaven realm. If he really could find a holy pellet, then he would have to give some benefits to the pill saint. For alchemist of that level, holy level medicine was the best reward, so Chen Shang planned to condense some creation divine liquid S and copy some holy level medicine during this period of time. If only LV Kilian was here. Help me get some holy level medicinal herbs quickly. Chen Shang thought. After LV Kilian and little Lizzie parted ways, they hurried back to the 9 heaven world. This heaven realm was not a place they could enter as they wished. During that period of time, many people had already returned, and the door would continue to open for a period of time, waiting for those who were still alive to return. Several months had passed, and Wang Weiquan stood at the main entrance. The Xiao Profoundian beside him tightly gripped his palm, because they were waiting for Huang Jintian. Huang Jintian was their master, and had originally gone in with them, but he still had not come out, causing them to be extremely worried. Now, they had to prepare to close this door, because practically everyone who was still alive had already returned. You guys don't have to worry too much about your masters. Chen Shang is also inside, they might have already met and planned to stay inside for a while longer. Back then, Chen Shang did not enter through this door. Right now, her impression of Chen Shang was much better than before. She was fully aware of Chen Zhang's abilities and methods, and felt that Chen Shang might be able to obtain a lot of benefits from this place. Close the gate. If we continue to waste more time, we will lose a large amount of spiritual crystal. The half-crippled Fire Emperor of the Fire Divine Palace shouted from afar. Wang Weiquan and Xiao Profoundian were feeling helpless at the moment. They sighed and nodded towards LV Kilian. They will return. You should all be well aware of how powerful your master and junior apprentice brother are. LV Kilian patted Xiao Profoundian's shoulders, and ran towards the Fire Emperor, closing the door behind them. Everyone worked together to remove the formation plate that kept the door open before sealing the explosive force. Not only that, they also needed to reinforce this space so that the powerful saint beasts in the heavenly realm wouldn't come running over. To them, this was a disaster. After opening the door for so long, the holy beasts inside knew that someone had entered, but they did not enter the 9 heaven world. They did not even manage to pass through the sky curtain. Come to think of it, after Chen Shang was taken away by Jilinger that day, Huang Jintian, who had escaped, had reunited with Mauer. They had waited for today, and returned to the mining area. Half of the holy stone that Huang Jintian obtained were given to cats, and he had them escort him out. On the way, Huang Jintian used the heaven extended method to calculate the location of a few holy beasts, and then led the cats to attack them. On the way, they killed a few holy beasts, causing Huang Jintian to be unable to hide his smile. Just when Huang Jintian thought that he was going to return with a full load, and return to the 9 heaven world, he realized that the door was gone. Damn it! Huang Jintian stomped his feet in anger. There was a teleportation platform at the side, but only Chen Shang could use that teleportation platform. Huang Jintian had no choice but to find a rock and engrave a few words on it before tossing it to the side of the teleportation portal. When Chen Shang returned here, he would be able to see it and tell Chen Shang to wait for him before taking him away. After doing all this, Huang Jintian returned to the forest in the heavenly realm to find a cat to help him kill the holy beasts. When Mauer left the area with the enchantment, she could use sacred energy. Huang Jintian also imparted some cultivation techniques to him, such as some of the dragon martial arts. They could make Mauer stronger. Unknowingly, half a year had passed while Chen Shang was refining a level 2 Immortal Yushan Dan. Right now, he was using 3 pill furnaces, namely the Yanlong furnace, the 7-star treasure furnace, and a magic method furnace. Only by doing this could he increase his speed to 6 batches per day. After he revealed this move, Jilinger was quite frightened, and it made her excited for a while, because this meant that Chen Shang could refine a lot of pills that he could sell in a short amount of time. What Jilinger admired the most was that Chen Shang rarely failed, and he always produced 5 pills, and the quality was also good. 1,000 Yuling bamboo shoots have been refined. I have more than 5,000 Yushan Dan now. Chen Shang also felt a little tired, but he was happy because he was able to see Su Meiyao and Bai Yu every day. Jilinger helped them heal their injuries every day and forced them to use that kind of strange power. He had 3 beauties accompanying him. From time to time, they would give him some advantage, wipe his sweat, chat with him, or seduce him so that he wouldn't feel bored while concocting pills. They're almost done, but I still have some work to do. Jilinger stretched lazily. Now that she knew Chen Shang was an alchemist with a lot of potential, she got even closer to Chen Shang because he had used half a year's time to refine more than 5,000 pellets of second-stage Immortal Yushan Dan. This was equivalent to 50,000 kilograms of holy stone. Chapter 1528. Chen Shang swallowed a Yushan Dan and asked, "Why are you so busy? Isn't it just lying there watching me cultivate? I have to eat these Yushan Dan next, this isn't an easy time." Su Meiyao laughed tenderly. "I don't know how many people are envious of you for being able to eat so many Yushan Dan in one go. You still think eating these pills is tiring? If word of this gets out, people will die of jealousy." She came behind Chen Shang, took off Chen Zhang's clothes, and helped him go take a bath. She had already treated Chen Shang as her own man, something that she should do. Jilinger saw that Su Meiyao was treating Chen Shang gently and tried to tease him. "Meiyao, I've worked so hard to treat your injuries, why don't I see how you treat me so well? Death spirit, do you want to steal my woman?" Chen Shang had already entered the bathing pool, and said while grinning. Every time he got tired from refining pills, he would come here to soak for a bit, and immediately become spirited. In order to provoke Chen Shang, Jilinger brought Bai Yu over. With a charming smile, she said, "You are mine, in the future, don't even think about getting a hold of her, or else I won't forgive you." Bai Yu had long since gotten used to this kind of playfulness. Inside the serene jade ring, Long Shui and Su Meiyao did this frequently as well. She only smiled, then leaned on Jilinger's soft chest. Chen Shang laid on the side of the bath, looking at the two girls on the bed. Su Meiyao gently rubbed his thick and broad back. You kissed me before. She's been mine since a long time ago." Hee. Chen Shang giggled, making Bai Yu glare at him. Jilinger was very surprised with this, because in the past half-year, she had understood Bai Yu, the cold beauty. Chen Shang was most afraid of her, and she had always been looking at him with a gaze that could make Chen Zhang's greasy lips close. A hot, seductive lady like Su Meiyao, acting in an emotional manner towards her due to being lonely was not really a surprise to Jilinger, as he was a very outstanding man after all. Seeing Jilinger's astonished application, Chen Shang was very pleased. Then, she grabbed onto that soft jade hand on his back and tugged with a little bit of strength, pulling Su Meiyao into the bath. Su Meiyao let out a lovely cry as she fell into the water. She, who was originally dressed lightly, had her alluring body soaked in water, making her look extremely alluring and charming. Jilinger immediately frowned, she had a premonition that something bad was going to happen. As expected, Chen Shang skillfully took off the thin layer on Su Meiyao's body. Halfway through writing, Su Meiyao's proud and beautiful body emitted a hazy jade light, making her look extremely holy and holy. However, it also possessed a devilish charm and temptation, so much so that even Jilinger was struck dumb by it, let alone a close-up witness like Chen Shang. In the past, she and Su Meiyao would be together, sleeping together, eating together, and bathing together. The two of them were very familiar with each other's bodies, but she still snorted lightly. "Little scoundrel, why didn't you greet him?" Su Meiyao laughed very charmingly, praising Chen Shang. Just as she finished speaking, her charming lips were covered by Chen Shang, and following that, the two of them started to kiss intensely. Chen Zhang's hands were greedily moving on Su Meiyao's perfect jade body. Bai Yu groaned. A screen on the side suddenly moved, blocking the two hungry and thirsty people inside the bath. Jilinger, who was enjoying his time, stuck out his tongue and said in a low voice, "You and Meiyao's body right now still can't handle that little scoundrel, they won't go overboard, it will have quite a huge impact on Meiyao." Bai Yu seemed to have already gotten used to it and softly replied, "It's alright, they had already done this before. That little scoundrel himself is clear that they are just messing around now, in the end, they will only make themselves feel uncomfortable." "Yuan, were you able to use your divine power to control the movement of the screen just now? Your original strength should only be at the mid to late stage Immortal King." Jilinger praised. "Junior sister and I both only came out after being heavily injured. It was all thanks to that little scoundrel." Bai Yu said, "We soaked in a type of liquid and then, we developed divine soul. We also did not expect that we would have divine soul so early." Jilinger's beautiful eyes flickered, it seems that this little scoundrel is really quite capable. There are so many benefits to following him. Yes. Bai Yu nodded. There are indeed many benefits to following him. After the passion had passed, Chen Shang and Su Meiyao were wrapped up in a hug and soaked in a bath. Because Su Meiyao was still injured, he was not satisfied that Chen Shang did not cross that line. After resting, Chen Shang prepared to start his cultivation and take out a large box of Yushan Dan. What was giving him a headache now was that it would take a very long time to digest these 5,000 Yushan Dan. I'm busy. Jilinger suddenly came to Chen Zhang's side and lazily sat in front of him, looking at him. Chen Shang was puzzled. You already said that you were going to be busy earlier, what help do you have? Can you help me eat Yushan Dan-s? Jilinger pounded his chest. I'll help you cultivate. With this many Yushan Dan, it'll take you a long time to refine them all by yourself. If you have me to help you with your cultivation, it'll be a lot faster. Is that okay too? Chen Shang looked at Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao who were sitting on the side of the bed. Linger will not only help you refine the Yushan Dan, she will also channel the sacred energy within her body to help you stabilize your foundation. Su Meiyao said. Some of the more powerful seniors often assist the younger generation in this manner. There is no need to worry. Bai Yuyu helped Su Meiyao comb his hair, and it could be seen that all of them had this kind of experience. Jilinger urged. Hurry up and start, eat dozens or even hundreds of them in one go. Chen Shang was a little worried. I eat so much, what if I lose control and my stomach explodes? Jilinger chuckled. If it explodes, then I will help you make up for it. If you want to quickly raise your strength, then you have to take the risk. You need to know that it is very rare to have a holy maiden to accompany you in cultivation. Chen Shang clenched his teeth, grabbed a handful of Yushan Dan and stuffed it into his mouth. It's not enough yet. Eat this box, you can gather 100 pills. Jilinger pressed one jade hand onto Chen Zhang's abdomen, and the other on the location of his heart, then poured a somewhat hot power into it, causing Chen Zhang's stomach to stop expanding any further. Chen Shang listened to her and grabbed another handful of Yushan Dan to eat. Although the taste was good, he didn't feel like he was enjoying it at all. You can start circulating and refining it. Jilinger said in a serious tone. Chen Shang circulated various cultivation techniques, and combined them together to circulate the energy, causing the medicinal energy that had exploded out to flow inside his body, expanding all of the veins in his body, making his body somewhat painful. Chapter 1529. Chen Shang opened his eyes and frowned as he looked at Jilinger. Although it wasn't as painful as he had imagined, it still made him feel extremely uncomfortable. Endure it for a bit longer, and you'll be fine soon. Jilinger's entire body was surrounded by a pale white mist, making her look extremely sacred. Coupled with her cold expression, she looked like a noble holy maiden. At first, Chen Shang felt that the energy that Jilinger had given him was scorching hot, but now, he started to feel that it had become ice cold. The medicinal power in his body was originally circulating extremely violently, almost bursting his meridians, but now it had slowed down and became much gentler. Before long, Chen Shang could sense that inside his body, there was a large amount of Jilinger's power. Jilinger's saint force was very strong, and was able to suppress the berserk medicinal force very easily. If it wasn't for the suppression from the outside, Chen Shang wouldn't dare to eat so many Yushan Dan-s, and would only be able to refine a small amount of Holy Spirit Qi every second during refining. But it was different now. He had a large amount of medicinal power in his body, and during refining, he would have more medicinal power every second than before. Jilinger grew up here and absorbed the Holy Spirit's power since she was young. The Holy Spirit's power was pure in her body and she herself had great talent, so the Holy Spirit power she injected into Chen Zhang's body could be of great help to him. Linger, are you training in the Holy Bone? Bai Yuyu suddenly asked. Not yet. If I reach that realm, then I don't need to be looked down upon by those stubborn old fogies from the Ji clan. Jilinger shook his head. My bones are currently only at the purple gold rank. This little scoundrel is pure gold. His body of heavenly sage has reached large success, and then there's the platinum skeleton, and then there's the purple skeleton, and then there's the crystal skeleton above the purple skeleton, and finally there's the jade bone. The jade bone is the sacred bone. Chen Shang said in surprise. I never thought there would be such a long way to go. I thought I was close to the holy bone. Jilinger snorted lightly. If you get close to the holy bone, then even if you don't use the Holy Spirit Qi in your body, killing me with one palm isn't a problem. She strongly pressed onto Chen Zhang's chest and lightly shouted, don't speak, focus on your cultivation. You still have over 900 Yushan Dan left to eat. After Chen Shang entered his cultivation state, he sealed his 5 senses. At this time, Jilinger was chatting with Su Meiyao and the others, so he didn't hear anything. As long as the heavenly cores in his body were able to absorb enough energy, they would become a little bigger, and the quality of the heavenly cores would suddenly soar. In the future, the saint force he used would be even stronger, which meant that he had broken through. With Jilinger's help, in just 10 days, he refined 102nd stage Immortal Yushan Dan. I still feel that it's not enough. Take out a few holy stone and place it around you. While you absorb the holy energy from within the holy stone, merge it with the medicinal energy. When you refine it, you will be able to quickly refine the holy energy and pour it into the heaven pellet. Jilinger said. Chen Shang shyly took out more than 100 kilograms of holy stone. 100 kilograms was already a lot, even a immortal becoming realm ranker would fuss over it. If my divine soul and saint force are strong enough, I might be able to control even more pill furnaces. Chen Shang said. When the time comes, the refining speed will be even faster. Jilinger's eyes lit up, then quickly enter the immortal becoming realm. At that time, the sacred and divine powers will fuse together. Had also said it before, but Chen Shang was still a little confused. He asked, Linger, you train in divine soul as well, but why are you still using saint force? Sigh, I only refined the divine soul after the 9th cycle of the immortal becoming realm. If I cultivate the divine soul before the immortal becoming realm and transform the divine pellet from the divine pellet to the divine pellet, then the divine pellet will merge with the divine soul and it will be known as the divine power. Jilinger replied, don't you know? I don't really understand. In other words, when the time comes, God power can be used as saint force, and the original God power will also become stronger. Chen Shang asked. That's right, divine power is the power of divine soul and divine power is the power of divine power that the innate chi transformed into after transcending worldly realm. When the two fuse together, it is sacred and powerful. Jilinger said with envy, you guys already have divine soul before you become 9 transformation saint. Once you step into the immortal becoming realm, the two of you can fuse together. For people like me, I would need a period of time to raise my divine soul. Chen Shang said in anticipation, at that time, can we use the God Wind or something like that? Jilinger nodded. Furthermore, there won't be much of a commotion. What she was looking forward to was the scene of Chen Shang controlling multiple pill furnaces in one go. Su Meiyao had told her before, that Chen Shang could control hundreds of pill furnaces and concoct a large number of pills in a short period of time. He just wanted to quickly enter the immortal becoming realm, and at that time, he would just have to return to the 9 heaven world. He wanted to obtain the things left behind by the devil-suppressing heavenly Venerable, and look for traces of the devil-suppressing heavenly Venerable. With the help of Jilinger, the extremely strong holy maiden who surpassed the immortal becoming realm, to refine the medicine, Chen Shang could quickly refine the Yushan Dan, and without any problems. This way, his cultivation speed would increase a lot. No wonder Jilinger said that he was confident that it could help him increase his strength. Long Shui had given her a lot of holy stone, which had helped her a lot. Right now, she was sleeping on a big bed made from holy stones, snoring while holding a big sacred animal fruit in her hands. As she slept, she would occasionally take a bite. With Chen Zhang's way of eating it, he managed to eat all 5,000 Yushan Dan in a month. However, he did not feel bad about it at all, because the holy stone that was used to eat 3,000 kilograms was like cabbages in his eyes. Looks good, just eat another 10,000 pills, and you will be able to enter the intermediate immortal king stage. Chen Zhang's face was full of smiles. He predicted that in another 1 to 2 years, he would be able to advance into the intermediate stage of the immortal king stage. Jilinger replied, if it was anyone else, they would have already entered the intermediate stage of the immortal king stage. You even have 10,000 pills. Chen Shang had a lot of pills in his body, and his cultivation was 5 times that of other people. He said, I might even need 20,000 of heaven pellets. I have 5 in my body. So that's how it is. No wonder I keep feeling like your stomach is like a bottomless pit. Jilinger exclaimed. He patted Chen Zhang's abdomen. They had already stayed here for more than half a year. Originally, Chen Shang wanted to take Su Meiyao and Bai Yu out for a stroll, but he was a little worried about other things happening because he was unwilling. Although the super old sacred city was very safe, Su Meiyao and Bai Yu didn't have the slightest ability to protect themselves. After the 2 girls entered the Serenity Ring, Chen Shang and Jilinger left the secret room and walked out of the house, ready to buy a large amount of Yushan Dan medicine. Chapter 1530. Yushandans were not rare in the super old sacred city, so Chen Shang was not afraid that he would not be able to buy it. Go back to that shop. How about I buy some third-grade immortal Yushandan? The effect should be even better. Jilinger said. Chen Shang shook his head. I have just grasped a second-grade immortal Yushandan, and if I go to refine a third-grade spirit pellet, I will definitely fail many times before succeeding. After I have refined this for a period of time and become familiar with the other second-grade immortal pills, I will then be able to start refining the third-grade immortal pills. Jilinger and Chen Shang came to the pill shop last time. When the old man saw them come, he was not as enthusiastic as last time, because he had almost completed a huge business deal last time. You two, are you here to buy medicinal ingredients or immortal pills? Out of politeness, the shopkeeper asked with a smile. Last time, I bought 1,000 Yuling bamboo shoots. There were too many failures, and I could only concoct a few pills. Although it took a lot of time, it was still quite worth it. Chen Shang laughed. Hearing his words, he knew that Su Yun still wanted to buy more Yuling bamboo shoots. The shopkeeper sighed and said, why would there be a need for that? It would be better to just buy a large amount of immortal pills. It would save you a lot of trouble and allow you to break through in a short period of time. Chen Shang smiled and said, the road of cultivation is very normal after 10,000 years or so. I also do not need to save that bit of time. How much? The shopkeeper asked. For Chen Shang to have this kind of mentality, it was indeed not bad. Of course, if he knew about Chen Zhang's abnormal pill refining speed, he wouldn't think this way. I want 4,000 gold coins, the same price as last time. I don't need you to give me any extra. Chen Shang stretched out 4 fingers and laughed. The storekeeper took a light breath. I can only release 1,000 of them. A while ago, someone just happened to buy a large amount. It might take some time before the goods will be available. Jilinger, who had been silent all this while, suddenly asked, someone is sweeping the goods. We still have a lot here, but you should know that we need to leave a large portion of the storefronts, otherwise, if others come to us and we cannot afford them, it will harm our reputation. The shopkeeper explained. Chen Shang had run a medicine shop before, so he understood a lot about it. Many of the first, second, and third grade immortal grade in the sacred transformation arena have already been bought. Don't you know about what happened a while ago? Jilinger said as his brows knitted together. Did something happen in the sky? Someone is actually spending so many holy stones to sweep away so many medicinal ingredients. When this happens, there will usually be powerful individuals who start their own sects. Isn't that obvious? We'll know who it is after a while. Jilinger and Chen Shang left the shop and went to another store. In the end, they could only gather 1,000 Yuling bamboo shoots. I'm still 2,000 Yuling bamboo shoots, it's not enough. Chen Shang sighed. If only he knew who the buyer was. As Chen Shang walked on the street and muttered softly, he saw that Jilinger had suddenly stopped in his tracks and looked towards the end of another street. There was a portrait of a beauty painted on it. It was Jilinger and there were a few words written on the side. This was actually a bounty for Jilinger. They said that Jilinger colluded with outsiders and stole the 3 million Jin Holy Stones from the Ji clan's Holy Stone mine, but in the end, they did not know what was going on. Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to her. It seems like Ji clan does not dare to spread the matter of the green dragon demon slain broadsword. Moreover, they think that I have kidnapped you. I can't stay here anymore. I have to find another place. Jilinger pulled Chen Shang and quickly left the place. Why? Chen Shang was a little doubtful. I'm afraid they have other ways of finding me. Jilinger said in a serious voice. We can't go back to that place. Go to the Heaven Sacred District, it's safe there, they won't dare to casually capture me. Jilinger had told him about the Heaven Sacred District before. They were all experts who had completed the 9 transformation saint. As long as they did not break the rules of the super old sacred city, if anyone tried to kidnap or kill someone inside, they would all be severely punished. However, entering the Heaven Sacred District required one to pay 100,000 kilograms and one could stay there for 100 years. Through the transmission array, Jilinger and Chen Shang arrived outside the Heaven Sacred District. This Heaven Sacred District did not have a tall and big wall surrounding them, but there was a very powerful barrier around them. At this time, Chen Shang was standing outside the transparent barrier, and he could feel how powerful it was. If he tried to break through, he might turn into dust, which would cause him to suddenly think that there was a large amount of energy source array bases in the Heaven's Sacred District, otherwise he wouldn't be able to create such a terrifying barrier. It was the entrance to the Heaven's Sacred District. From afar, the bronze door looked very grand. There were a few old scars on it, as though it had been attacked countless times, and it was filled with an ancient aura. The streets were spacious and clean, but it was not as lively as the other places. After all, those who could enter this place were the strongest people in the capital, and their numbers were limited. There was a small house beside the huge bronze door. Jilinger brought Chen Shang and walked over, as she took out 200,000 holy stone and shouted to a middle-aged man inside, "Give me 2 pass." A drop of blood. The middle-aged man took out 2 bronze tablets, and threw it on the counter. Jilinger cut his finger with his dagger and dripped a few drops of blood, causing the bronze tablet to glow green, and then floated towards Jilinger. Chen Shang was completely bewildered. He didn't understand why he would do such a thing. "Quick, drip some blood," Jilinger urged. When the big-sized man saw how weak Chen Shang was, he knew that it was his first time here. He then explained, "After you bind it with blood, this bronze tablet will be your pass, and it will be effective for 100 years. Once a 100 years has passed, the energy will disappear, and if the law enforcement saint finds out that your plate is ineffective, he will chase you out. Also, if you die in the Heaven's Sacred District, the enforcement hall will immediately sense you. If you are in trouble, you can also use the bronze plate to call for help. The enforcement saints near you will immediately rush over to save you." Chen Shang did not expect this item to be so high-leveled, and quickly dripped with blood to buy it. The 100,000 holy stones are not for free. It is equivalent to paying a protection fee. However, if they are famous villains, if they are recognized inside, their fates will be the same. Jilinger thought for a while, took out another 200,000 kilograms of holy stone, and said to the middle-aged man, "Buy another 2, and use it to prolong your life in the future." Chapter 1531. Jilinger used up 400,000 kilograms of holy stone. In the eyes of this middle-aged man, it was considered very extravagant, because normally, saints would take 100 years to gather 100,000 kilograms of holy stone, and quicker ones would take several decades. Chen Shang knew that Jilinger had bought them for Su Meiyao. In the future, he could bring them out to shop, and he wasn't afraid of danger at all. This made him feel very grateful. Jilinger knew that Chen Shang could earn a lot of holy stones in the future, which was why she was so straightforward. In truth, the Heaven's Sacred District was only the rich district. Anyone who could enter here did not care about the 100,000 Jin holy stone, and there was of course a small portion of people who entered in order to avoid the powerful enemies. Most of the things here are very expensive. Back then, I worked hard here for a long time, but I only managed to create a very small cave. Jilinger brought Chen Shang and walked towards the large mountain in the distance. She saw Chen Zhang's strange expression and explained, "You should be able to see that there are many mountains in Heaven's Sacred District, and there are also many caves there. Even if it's for us poor people, it would be very safe inside those caves, don't worry." Chen Shang looked at the tall and big stone buildings that rose from the ground in the middle of the Heaven's Sacred District. "That place?" Chen Shang asked. "Don't even think about it, that place is outrageously expensive. Buying a room would cost several tens of thousands of kilograms of holy stone. Some of the more expensive houses might not be able to buy them without hundreds of millions of kilograms of holy stone." Jilinger lamented. Chen Shang was a little confused. "These things are so expensive, then why would your Ji clan be angry over those 3 million holy stone? For a large clan, there is no shortage of these holy stone." Jilinger led Chen Shang towards the large mountain and explained, "Ji clan can only earn a few tens of millions of kilograms of holy stone every 100 years, and it still needs a large group of people to raise and maintain many array formations and barriers, and it itself also needs to be accessed a bit, so 300 holy stones are still very important to Ji clan. It's equivalent to him being taken away by a few million kilograms of holy stone for 100 years, do you think they would be in a hurry?" Chen Shang nodded. "So your Ji clan can't even be considered a great clan of Tiandu after all." Jilinger sneered. "If it wasn't for the wealth of those old fellows' descendants, our Ji clan must have an estate here. In these past few tens of thousands of years, it was those little brats who had tormented Ji clan to such an extent, yet they were so harsh on me. And thanks to my own hard work, I managed to get myself ranked 12 on the saints' list. If Ji clan had been willing to support me behind my back, I would not have had a problem getting in the top 3. Jilinger's voice was filled with resentment. Chen Shang laughed. Seems like you also want to enter the saints' list. Your father is the patriarch of the Ji clan, why doesn't he help you? Jilinger sighed. Don't mention it, he's not going to speak alone. He wants all the elders to agree, but there are only a few elders on my father's side, so it's useless. HMPH. She snorted unwillingly. Originally, I was the worst amongst the group of holy maiden, and was even wanted by the Ji clan. Those holy maiden all had the support of a large clan, and most of them are in the most luxurious area of the Heaven Sacred District, while I can only live in the cave. I have to see the people from the Heaven Sacred District to choose a holy maiden, so I don't have a chance. Chen Shang chuckled. You previously said that you don't care about the holy maiden, so it turns out that you care a lot, but I didn't expect that you would have to use your father for the holy maiden selection, it wasn't really that big of a deal. Jilinger snorted. I don't care, but I originally wanted to bring honor to the Ji clan, who would have thought that by sticking close to a cold butt, I would be met with the supercilious looks of all the elders. More than half of their sons are doing well in the Heaven Sacred District, buying many businesses, only then are they getting these holy stones that have secretly taken over the Ji clan. Now, Chen Shang more clearly understood why Jilinger had deviated from the Ji clan. Moreover, it was a very good opportunity, and the development now was even better than what she had imagined. Chen Shang followed her to the stone mountain, and came to the front of a cave. She took out a jade key, and opened the cave's stone door, releasing some restrictions, and brought Chen Shang in. This cave dwelling was beyond Chen Zhang's expectations, better than he had imagined. In the center was an exquisite little hall, with 2 doors at the side. There were 2 stone rooms inside, one for the bedroom, and the other for the training room. How much did you buy here? Chen Shang looked at the large luminous pearl at the center of the hall and said with a smile, not bad. I bought it with 80,000 kilograms of holy stone. Jilinger laughed and said, if you are willing to, before long, we can buy a luxurious house in the central region. Chen Shang curled his lips, is there any use in buying those things? It's more important to raise my strength, moreover, I still have a lot of things to do in 9 Heaven World. It's not that much of a use, but there's a sense of superiority in that place. Think carefully, there really isn't any need for that. Jilinger giggled. If you have a large number of holy stone, it would be more useful to buy high-quality immortal pills. With absolute strength, you shouldn't be afraid of others looking down on you. Chen Shang bent down and laughed. With absolute strength, you will not even be afraid of your enemies in Heaven's Sacred District, and that will be very fun. That's asking to die. When Su Meiyao and Bai Yu came out of the ring, Jilinger gave them the 2 bronze tags so that they could fuse and drip blood. Meiyao, you guys follow me, I will buy some pretty clothes for you guys. Jilinger pulled Su Meiyao and Bai Yu, and was about to leave the cave. Chen Shang anxiously shouted, is this really all right? I'm a bit worried. Su Meiyao and Bai Yu never left Chen Zhang's side, which made him extremely worried. Then don't concoct pills, just come with us. If something happens, just hide them. Jilinger said. Just like that, Chen Shang followed the 3 girls to the Heaven Sacred District, where they rented a carriage. Chen Shang was in charge of driving the carriage, and the 3 girls were chatting inside. It had been a long time since they last went out for a stroll, and furthermore, they were in a place with a forest of experts. Su Meiyao and Bai Yu who did not have any strength were still a little worried, but they believed in Jilinger's strength. When they came out to take a breath of fresh air, Chen Shang was also very happy. The horse carriage stopped outside of the city. No one was allowed to enter on this type of carriage. They could only walk or ride the required flying magical equipment. In order to prevent trouble, Su Meiyao and the other 2 girls had disguised themselves to make themselves less conspicuous, while Chen Shang, dressed as his follower, followed behind the 3 girls leisurely. In order to take into account Chen Zhang's feelings, Jilinger planned to first bring Chen Shang to the medicine store to see if he could buy any grade 2 immortal Yuling bamboo shoots. Chapter 1532. Chen Zhang's group had weak overall strength, but some people did not think that it was so. Everyone here had some skills, maybe it was just to disguise themselves. The building was over 60 stories tall, but it was relatively short in this area. The entire building gave off a feeling of being made of stone, like it was made of steel. It was pitch black, not like a pill seller at all. However, this was indeed a medicine store, and it was owned by a large family. Coming here, Chen Shang understood why he chose to build a heaven-sacred district here. It was because the Holy Spirit Qi here was much denser than in other places. Cultivating here for 100 years, it would last for hundreds to 1,000 years. In the middle of the first floor of the Myriad Treasures store was a large pill furnace. It was placed there like a small house. There were white flames burning inside, but no one could feel the heat. I have someone I know here. Jilinger whispered to Chen Shang and the others, even if your identity is exposed, you don't have to worry. Chen Shang was a little worried that his possession of the green dragon demon slain broadsword would be exposed, hence Jilinger told him this. Here, there were many chairs. Chen Shang, Bai Yu and the others sat down and waited, while Jilinger went to a young man in charge of sending messages. Very quickly, a beautiful middle-aged woman came down from the stairs and brought Jilinger up. Chen Shang and the others waited for a while, but Jilinger came back soon after. What did you find out? Chen Shang whispered. When Jilinger returned, he had been frowning and knew that there would be no good news. This is going to be difficult. The old man was right, there will be a new power rising up soon, and in order to recruit people with potential, we have gathered a large amount of medicinal ingredients, allowing a large number of alchemists to refine them. Before long, they will be able to gather a large amount of medicinal pills, and at that time, we will be able to find a lot of seedlings with good potential. Jilinger sighed. Then what about here? Are they for sale? Chen Shang was more concerned with this. No, all of the first, second and third grade immortal grades medicinal herbs have been swept away in one go. Now, all that is stored in those stores are just stock, and if they wanted to support their reputation, they would not sell it. Unless you offered a high price, it would not be worth it. Jilinger shook his head. To be able to buy such a large amount of medicinal herbs in one go, Chen Shang must have used a lot of holy stones. Do you know who bought it? Su Meiyao asked, her beautiful eyes flickering with a bright light. If we can contact them and get little scoundrel to help them refine the pellets, they might not even need to return the favor. Hearing Su Meiyao's suggestion, Jilinger immediately understood what she meant. She wanted Chen Shang to refine pills, but normally, only one would be given to him. I know. The 3 holy maiden bought them. These 3 women used to be in the top 3 of the holy maiden. They were all my mortal enemies. Jilinger said in displeasure. Their strength should be on par with yours. This way, they can start their own sect. Chen Shang was a little surprised. According to his guess, that person should be a very strong person. Of course it wasn't them who established the sect, it was the person behind them. It seems to be their master. It is said that she is an extremely powerful old woman, a grand master who knows how to refine saint weapons and is extremely powerful. Jilinger said again. Chen Shang said, just tell me the location, and I will go myself. They should be needing a large number of alchemists right now. Chen Shang glanced at Su Meiyao and Bai Yu, and they both nodded, as they were willing to temporarily separate from Chen Shang. Alright, I'll definitely protect them. Jilinger knew the feelings between Chen Shang and Su Meiyao. This was the first time in many years that they had separated. After receiving the address from Jilinger, Chen Shang bid his farewell to the 3 women and then arranged to meet at a place. Because they were inside the Heaven Sacred District, Chen Shang was more at ease. Before, when he was on his way here, he had seen a few law enforcement saints, and he could feel their valiant auras from afar. They were all extremely powerful and would not hold back against people who broke the rules. If the law enforcement saints could not handle this, it would be when an elder came out from the law enforcement hall. Chen Shang walked for more than an hour before arriving at a tall stone building called the 3 Sunsets Pavilion. At the moment, there were many people queuing up from the inside of the building to the outside of the street. They are all alchemists, Chen Shang exclaimed in his heart. The strength of these alchemists were not weak, most of them were saints who had completed the 9 revolutions saints, and the flames in their bodies were extremely strong. However, the unintentional release of the hot air from these people's bodies made the entire street feel hot. Quite a few alchemists walked out of the building. They looked dejected, and just by looking at them, one could tell that they did not pass. Chen Shang stood at the back of the group and patiently waited, but his arrival caught the attention of many people, because the aura being released from his body was too weak. People of this level should be in the sacred transformation arena, but holy stones that came to this place should come from some small and medium-sized forces, so no one underestimated him, they just felt that he shouldn't have come. In this place, the difference in strength was one of the criteria for evaluating the pill refining level. There were so many rankers who had completed their transformation into saints that they were unable to pass. Thus, in the eyes of many people, Chen Shang was just not able to pass the Tri-Aurora restaurant's examination. The 3 Aurora Pavilion was also selling medicinal pellets, but it suddenly stopped during this period of time. It was still buying medicinal ingredients from many large pill stores in Super Old Sacred City and was currently recruiting a large number of alchemists. Previously, Jilinger had told Chen Shang that the ones in charge of managing this matter were 3 powerful holy maiden, and they had also created this 3 Aurora restaurant. Chen Shang waited from day to night until it was finally his turn. The recruitment examination was also held throughout the night, which showed how urgent 3 Dawn Tower was. Chen Shang was brought to a pill refining room. During the examination, he would definitely need to concoct a batch of pills and finish it within the specified time, and then he would be able to pass. But there was only a chair here, and a beautiful woman wearing a fiery red dress was sitting there. When she saw Chen Shang, she slightly frowned her brows. She never thought that alchemist, who had such strength, would also come here, but she did not say anything. "What kind of pills are you good at?" the woman in red asked. Within her beautiful and bright eyes, 2 bright red flames suddenly appeared, startling Chen Shang. The other party's flames were extremely strong, actually causing the flames in Chen Zhang's body to become restless. Chen Shang took a deep breath and suppressed the strong flames in his body. Chapter 1533. This was because all of the alchemists in the past could not pass her test, and now, she did not underestimate Chen Shang. This was because the majority of the alchemists that could control such powerful flames all had fire souls, and had to undergo many types of tempering before being able to obtain them. Currently, I am only at the 2nd rank of the Immortal realm. I can be considered to be more proficient in this kind of pill. Chen Shang suppressed the flames in his body that were about to explode, and said indifferently. The red-clothed female nodded her head and stood up. She cleaned up everything, indicating that Chen Shang should sit on a clean carpet in front of her. "This is a 2nd-grade Immortal Yuling bamboo shoots. Take a look and see if you're satisfied. If you feel that it's not good, I can help you exchange." The lady in red was suddenly very curious. She wanted to know what Chen Zhang's alchemy level was and how weak his strength was, but his control over his flames was stronger than many strong warriors. Satisfied, seeing that the Yuling bamboo shoots' quality was not bad, Chen Shang nodded his head. "Pill refining will require some time. Will this be delaying you?" The lady in red smiled slightly. "It's all right. It's not like I'm the only one in charge of the exam. Besides, many alchemists won't be able to pass the previous stage." Chen Shang sat on the soft white carpet and took out his Yanlong furnace, preparing to refine it into a Yushan Dan. Previously, Jilinger had told him that the 3 holy daughters of the 3 Aurora Pavilion were called Hong Sha, Zisha and Bai Sha. They were all martial sisters and their master was a very famous ranker who was extremely rich. As for the red-clothed female in front of him, Chen Shang felt that she was the holy daughter of red clouds. Chen Shang felt that the power exuding from her body was as strong as Jilinger. Red Dawn was not sitting on a chair but was walking around Chen Shang with her beautiful eyes fixed on Chen Shang, who was seriously concocting pills. Although Chen Shang knew about this, he was very calm. At this moment, someone lightly knocked on the door, and Red Dawn shouted, "Come in." The one who entered was a woman wearing a white tight suit. She was dressed very simply, as if she wanted to fight. This woman in white looked somewhat similar to the red clouds, which made Chen Shang think that she should be the white cloud holy maiden that Jilinger mentioned. The 3 holy daughters of the 3 Aurora restaurant were actually 3 sisters. "Third sister, what's going on here? Nothing happened for so long." The white clouds came in and saw someone was concocting pills. She asked, "What pill is he concocting?" The red cloud pulled her to the side and whispered, "A 2nd-stage Immortal Yushan Dan. Although he is very weak, he has very good control over the flames. Even the Holy Spirit fire in my body is unable to interfere with his flames' emotions, and this sort of thing rarely happens. He seems to be able to easily resist my interference." "Ah," Bai Sha exclaimed softly, "how is that possible? Your Holy Spirit fire is so powerful, even some of the famous Dan Immortals find it difficult to resist her, but this Brata." "That's right, he said that he can refine 2nd-stage Immortal stage Yushan Dan, but his current cultivation is not high, not even Immortal becoming realm, so I want to see." "Second sister, explain to big sis, don't let her think that I'm slacking off," Hong Sha said with a smile. "He would need at least a day to refine a Yushan Dan." "Alright, now you can be openly lazy." Bai Sha wrinkled her nose and chuckled. After Bai Sha left, the red light continued to turn around Chen Shang. Chen Shang had heard their conversation just now, and it looked like he was concocting pills seriously. However, he was on guard at all times, unable to hide anything from him. Little naughty dragon, wake up, what is a holy spirit fire? Chen Shang used his divine sense to call Long Shui, who was sleeping soundly in the ring. After a few consecutive rounds, Long Shui finally woke up in a daze. With half-opened eyes, he said, anyone who has this fire soul can use sacred fire, but this is only one of the special characteristics. Even more amazing is that people with this fire soul can use their emotions to infect the flames or fire soul in other people's bodies. What's the use of that? Chen Shang asked. It's extremely useful. It's equivalent to directly controlling the flames in another person's body, making the fire soul and flames in another person's body listen to their orders. Not only that, it's useful for beasts as well as naturally formed flames. Long Shui sobered up. You've met a guy with this kind of fire soul. That's right, she's still around me, a woman. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he told her in detail about Red Cloud's identity. Long Shui laughed. You better be careful, the Holy Spirit fire's spirit is very strong, if you get targeted, it will be very troublesome. Hearing this, Chen Shang was a little worried in his heart. If I were to be targeted, what kind of trouble would there be? I don't even have a fire soul anymore, I have already fused with the other things in my body, so I should be fine. This sacred flame has another miraculous characteristic. If you have a very strong fire soul, as long as the Holy Spirit fire catches some of the soul remembrance of the fire soul in your body, the Holy Spirit fire will imitate your fire soul. If she can record 10 types of soul remembrances, she can transform into 10 different types of soul pets and use different types of flames. Long Shui chuckled. But this woman doesn't seem to have met with a fire soul that satisfied her, so now What will happen? Chen Shang anxiously asked. You only know a few methods to capture your soul remembrance, and this will usually make you suffer a bit. Long Shui said. Chen Shang suddenly had a worry in this regard. Right now, the red clouds was wandering around him, making him feel uneasy. While he was deep in worry, he suddenly felt a warm jade hand on his cheek. He did not use a transformation technique to change his appearance, so his overall appearance was still pretty good. Being touched by the red clouds, Chen Shang felt good, but he was more worried. He opened his eyes and looked at red clouds. Hong Sha's hand was still on his perspiring face. She didn't think that Chen Shang wouldn't be so focused on concocting pills, she had thought that Chen Shang would be completely unaware of his surroundings. Miss, what are you doing? Chen Shang opened her eyes wide, looking at Red Dawn's beautiful face that carried a trace of awkwardness. I'm wiping your sweat. Hong Sha anxiously took out a silk handkerchief and blushed as she wiped the perspiration off Chen Zhang's face. Thank you. Chen Shang forced a smile and said, this was the Red Holy Daughter who was ranked in the top 3 of the Holy Maiden ranking. She was actually helping him wipe his sweat, but he couldn't help to feel happy in his heart. He felt that he was like a lamb who was targeted by a female wolf. Red Cloud softly laughed, but she was a little puzzled. Are you very hot right now? Why do you keep wiping more and more? You shouldn't be afraid of the hot stuff. Of course Chen Shang was not afraid of the heat, but he was afraid of her, since the difference in strength was too great. If this Hongqi made a move on him, he could only surrender without holding back. Chapter 1534. Chen Shang looked at her while he refined the pills. He was distracted during the process of concocting pills, and was even able to keep the furnace from exploding. What's wrong with you? Seeing Chen Zhang's strange expression, as though she was afraid of something, Hong Sha asked. I don't know if you are the legendary Red Sunlight Holy Maiden. Chen Shang asked carefully. Red Cloud smiled sweetly. I thought you wouldn't recognize me. Chen Shang forced out a smile. I didn't know him in the first place, but just now when your second sister, Holy Maiden Baxia, came in, I just thought of it. I didn't expect that you two would actually come personally and do such a thing. Quote. You are quite calm. Many people who see as sisters are not like you. Hong Sha seemed to understand why Chen Shang was suddenly sweating. I apologize here, because I'm used to being cautious in unfamiliar situations, so I heard your conversation just now. I have also heard the rumors about the Holy Spirit fire, that's why I'm worried. Chen Shang revealed the worry in his heart. He could tell that this Red Cloud Holy Maiden was not one of those unreasonable evil women. Hong Sha giggled and wiped the sweat off Chen Zhang's forehead. You were worried that I would eat you, Since you have a very strange and complicated fire soul in your body, I do have an idea to imitate your fire soul. But if it wasn't your wish, I wouldn't have been able to do it even if I had to. If I wanted to imitate your fire soul, you first need to have no thoughts of resisting, and let my fire soul's consciousness enter your body, merge with your fire soul, and then have a period of fusion. This process won't be that easy. Hong Sha explained with a smile. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief and laughed. You scared me to death, but to be able to get Big Sister Holy Maiden to wipe my sweat, it's worth it even if I get eaten. Red Cloud giggled and said, you talkative brat, refine the pills properly. If you do well, I will arrange everything for you in the future. Sister Hong, can you let me refine all the grade 2 Immortal Yushan Dan? Chen Shang asked. He felt that this woman was not bad, although she was a noble holy maiden, she did not have that kind of high and mighty attitude, instead, she was easy to approach, and was very beautiful and very gentle to people. This is a little difficult. Although we are in charge of purchasing the medicinal ingredients, we are not in charge of them. Red Cloud softly sighed. If we three sisters were really that capable, we wouldn't have come out all day to do these chores. There are still many powerful people above us, so we three sisters have to listen to them. Chen Shang was a little surprised. He did not think that the three holy maiden ranked in the top 3 would be as impressive as they had imagined. He felt that the reason Red Dawn was able to tell him all this was to give him some sort of signal. This made him even more curious about the great power that was about to be established. If you pass, you can choose to join the big sect that we are about to set up. If you perform well, there will definitely be a lot of preferential treatment. The Red Clouds continued. I only wish to refine some pills and get some compensation. I have no intention of joining any other powers. Chen Shang then lowered his voice. Sister Hong, is there any other way to help me refine a second-grade Immortal Yushan Dan? I will give you some compensation when the time comes. Although she had the powerful fire soul, her fire soul was not suitable for refining pills. On the other hand, Chen Shang felt that her looks were similar to Jilinger in terms of earning Holy Stone S. Interesting. Tell me, what kind of reward can you give me? Also, why are you refining a second-grade Immortal Yushan Dan? Red Dawn squatted beside Chen Shang and looked at him with interest. Chen Shang asked, what is the standard for refining a level 2 Immortal Yushan Dan? What do you want in order to qualify? Red Cloud immediately replied, if you want to refine 1 Yuling bamboo shoots, you have to produce one of high quality. Chen Shang laughed, if I can refine 2 pills, then the rest can belong to me. Right now, the pill furnace was already in the core formation stage, it was just that Chen Shang had yet to separate the balls of air. If everything was settled, he would condense more pills, prove his strength, and then combine with the Red Clouds to secretly make a profit. Hearing Chen Zhang's words, Red Cloud suddenly understood. You really can do it? Hong Sha asked in a low voice. If that's the case, you can take 1 extra. Chen Shang laughed. How can I accept it? I will give some points to you, but the condition is that you have to buy me the chance to refine a large amount of Yushan Dan. After saying that, the Yanlong furnace started to sway. When the Red Clouds saw it, their faces were filled with surprise, which meant that it had entered the core formation stage. Then you have to show me your ability. Red Cloud said. You'll see. Chen Shang smiled confidently. Using the array inside the Yanlong furnace to speed up, Chen Shang could do it much faster than usual. Furthermore, he was very familiar with the way to refine Yushan Dan. He spent a total of about 8 hours to do this, and it was only with his full strength that he was able to do this. Before, she had noticed that Chen Shang was not ordinary, especially the control over his flames. Done. Seeing Chen Shang keeping the flames, Red Cloud asked in shock. Because this speed could be said to be extremely fast, and only the most outstanding Dan Immortal could achieve this. Open the pill furnace and take a look. Chen Shang nodded. Red Cloud personally opened the lid of the pill furnace and a warm breath came out. A white light accompanied by a medicinal fragrance drifted out. When she looked carefully, she thought that she had seen wrongly because there were 5 Yushan Dan S in the pill furnace. Is this true? Red Cloud took out the Yushan Dan S in disbelief. 5 white Dan King S laid quietly in her jade palm, emitting a gentle white light and a sense of warmth. It was obvious that they had just come out of the furnace. Now you should know why I wanted to refine Yushan Dan. I originally wanted to buy the ingredients myself, but who knows when you bought them all. Chen Shang said helplessly, can we work together now? The more powerful Dan Immortal can at most refine 3 of them, but you can actually refine 5 of them. Quote. Chen Shang laughed. The specifics are very complicated, you only need to know that I can refine 5 Yushandans in one go. If you help me, I can get the task of refining a large amount of Yushandans. I will continue with the Yushandan to increase my strength, so I can't share too much with you. Chen Shang said. Right now, I only know how to refine Yushandan. Chapter 1535. Only by eating a Yushandan would Red Dawn be able to verify the authenticity of these Yushandan. She still didn't quite believe it. After eating, she had no choice but to believe that the Yushandan that Chen Shang refined was of good quality. He was definitely a genius in alchemy, causing her to have a yearning for talent. I'll try my best to help you fight for it. The speed at which you refine Yushandan is that fast, so there's a high chance that I'll get my big sis and second sis to help out again. Red Dawn had given 3 Yushandans, Chen Shang, and their cooperation had already started. You have to tell your sisters. Chen Shang asked. They are my blood sisters. If there's anything good, I'll definitely think of them. Don't worry, I've been with them for a long time and we have great trust in each other. I know they won't leak this out. Red Cloud said, you can come back tomorrow. You can go back for now. Red Cloud gave a plate of Chen Shang. This was the proof of passing the examination. Right, what's your name? Red Cloud suddenly thought of this matter. Chen Shang. Chen Shang was not afraid to reveal his name, and the only person who knew him was probably Jilinger. Remember to come tomorrow. Don't forget, I will help you fight for it today. Red Cloud reminded him. Chen Shang nodded his head, then left the 3 Aurora Pavilion with a good mood, and returned to the cave that Jilinger bought outside the city. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu followed Jilinger as they strolled around Heaven's sacred district buying a lot of things. Linger. Chen Shang knocked on the stone door of the cave and shouted. Jilinger opened the stone door, and after seeing Chen Shang, he asked, how is it? Let's go in first. At this moment, Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were arranging the beautiful clothes that they had just bought. Jilinger invited him to sit down and poured some sweet spring water for them. The one who is in charge of interviewing me is the saint daughter of Red Clouds. Chen Shang said. It's actually her. She's the Holy Maiden rank 3rd, but I heard that they're preparing to withdraw from the Holy Maiden election and focus on taking care of the sect their master created. Jilinger replied. The results are right. It could be said that everything went smoothly. Chen Shang drank a mouthful of water. These were all things that Jilinger and the others had just bought. It was so satisfying that Chen Shang trembled a little. It's just that some things that I didn't expect happened. The 3 Sons Holy Maiden is one of the 3 sisters. She is not as impressive as she looks on the surface. She should only be considered as a lowly servant, slightly better than the others. Chen Shang said. So they do not have the authority to let me refine a large number of Yuling bamboo shoots. Then you cooperated with them in order to win them over. Su Meiyao could tell immediately. I'll cooperate with Red Dawn so I can refine 5 Yushandan for her to see. After that, I can give 1 pellet to her each time, in exchange for that. Chen Shang looked at Jilinger and asked, how are the 3 sisters? Jilinger said seriously. Their people are not bad, they helped me before, but when I killed the holy beasts, they insisted on having the beast pills and gave me that broken corpse, so in the end they had some conflicts, and when they were ranked in the top 3, they even beat me up a little. That's good. Chen Shang nodded. Apart from these, nothing else has happened. Logically speaking, it's impossible for you to talk so fast. Asked. Red Cloud was a holy daughter, and although Chen Shang was pretty good looking, she was still a kid with a low cultivation. Then, Chen Shang told them about the Holy Spirit fire. So that's how it is, Red Clouds can't settle your fire soul, no wonder she's so interested in you. Jilinger laughed. You might be in some trouble. On the contrary, Chen Shang didn't think so. He felt that the Red Cloud Holy Woman was very good, making him feel close to her. Furthermore, the Red Dawn Holy Maiden had said that they had to agree on something. Linger, do the 3 of them really have no status at all? Chen Shang asked curiously. Their strength is about the same as me, and they are only in the top 3 of the Holy Maiden. I've been so poor, but at most they are only a little better than me. Hearing you say this, I feel that behind them is not only a single master, but also a large group of people. Jilinger snorted. Women do not have absolute strength here, what status do they have? I will be concocting pills there, you guys stay here and have fun. After I break through, I will think of a way to earn some holy stone. Chen Shang said. Are there enough holy stones? Enough, I won't cultivate for now. If I just buy some small things, I won't be able to use them all. Jiling'er looked at Su Meiyao and Bai Yu. I will bring them for a good stroll around here. Don't worry and go back to concoct pills, come back when it's about time, I'll help you cultivate. The next day, Chen Shang arrived early the next day. With his jade tablet, he very quickly saw the red clouds. Red Dawn brought him to a secret room. With a face full of smiles, he could tell that everything was going smoothly on her side. This is 7,000 Yuling bamboo shoots, you can slowly refine it. When the time comes, don't forget about me. We three sisters had great difficulty obtaining it. Hong Sha passed a storage bag to Chen Shang. Chen Shang received it, and nodded with a smile on his face. Sister Hong, wasn't that sect founded by your master? You should have a lot of power. Chen Shang asked. It was created by our martial uncle. My master was only invited to join, and those with more authority are all my martial uncle's people, and my martial uncle's disciples, including our senior brothers, are all more powerful than us three sisters. Not to mention my martial uncle's trusted elders, we are just doing odd jobs. Hong Sha sighed helplessly and said, moreover, the rewards are very low as well. If necessary, they would let us marry out and form some connections with some of the big powers. Chen Shang said in shock. You guys can also endure it like that, it's fine if your master wants you to marry him, but that senior master of yours has a shitty relationship with you guys, it's not like he's the one who raised you. If it really happened, we would probably end up like that Jiling'er. However, Jiling'er is much better, he would have taken away at least 150 kilograms of holy stone. Quote. If I need any help later, I can provide some. Chen Shang laughed. You should start concocting the pills properly. I won't bother you anymore. If you need anything, just come find me. I will stay here forever. Red Cloud said. Hong Sha thought highly of Chen Shang, and Chen Shang also thought highly of her. This was because she had the Holy Spirit fire in her body, so she might be able to become a strong female fire emperor in the future. Chen Shang had opened the array formation for this secret room, and was unable to open the door from the outside. This was because he had some skills that could not be seen by others while he was refining pills. 7,000 batches, looks like I'll have to use Dawen refining method, if not who knows how many years I'll have to refine it. Chen Shang looked at the mountains of Yuling bamboo shoots. After refining, he would have more than 20,000 pills. In a situation where he was unable to purchase a Yuling bamboo shoots, he felt that this transaction was very worthwhile. Chapter 1536. In order to complete the mission quickly, Chen Shang had to use his utmost strength to release 3 magic method furnaces. Adding his own Yanlong furnace S and his 7 stars treasure furnace, there were 5 in total. Even so, he could only refine 15 batches a day, which meant that he had to refine a total of 7,000 batches. It would take a very long time, especially for the other alchemist. Chen Shang still found it slow, but that was only for him. For the people of this sky capital, concocting so many furnace pills was a very normal thing to do even if they used it for a dozen or 20 years. Now, not only did he have to control the 5 pill furnaces to refine pills, he also had to absorb the Holy Spirit chi inside the holy stone around him and then condense the creation divine liquid in his mouth. Chen Shang would repeat the same thing every day, but it wasn't much to him, because he was basically earning holy stone S right now and was also raising his cultivation level. He was already very satisfied with it. Just like this, day after day, more than a year had passed. The Yuling bamboo shoots S given by Red Cloud had all been refined into Yushan Dan S by him, and because he had to control 5 pill furnaces to refine Immortal grade 2 pills at the same time, the difficulty was extremely great, and he also needed a lot of strength, so he failed for a total of dozens of batches. However, compared to the time he had used and the number of pills he had produced, the tens of batches that had failed were not worth mentioning. He did not come out. He opened the stone door of the secret room and could not help but sigh with emotion. He did not expect that after the time he was refining pills, such a long time had passed, and he was a little worried about Bai Yu and Su Meiyao. It was the first time that Chen Shang and the girls had been separated for such a long time. He couldn't wait to confirm the 2 girls' safety. Red Cloud was just like usual. She spent all day here, examining those disciples and alchemists who wanted to join their sect. When she saw that Chen Shang had arrived, she let someone replace her. Can't you stay any longer? Come out for some fresh air. Hong Sha asked with a smile, and immediately poured Chen Shang some good tea. Red Clouds was still wearing her fiery red clothes as before, but now she was wearing a red suit that made it easier for her to fight. It seemed like she would occasionally use one or two moves when she was testing someone else. It's only been a year, what is there to stay for? Chen Shang laughed and took out 2 storage bags, throwing them at Red Cloud. There were 7,000 Yushan Dan inside and they failed for a few dozen batches, but that's for me. After Red Cloud received it, she was stunned for a while. The 7,000 Yuling bamboo shoots, in just a year's time, had all been refined into Yushan Dan. This is too surprising. Red Clouds took a while to react before exclaiming. Chen Shang laughed. Right now, I want to eat those Yushan Dan. After my strength increases, I can go even faster. You must come and find me when the time comes. She did not expect that in just over a year's time, she would obtain 7,000 Yushan Dan and sell them for free. If she were to use her own abilities to earn a sum of holy stone, it would probably take many years. Chen Shang hurriedly left the Three Aurora restaurant and went to Jilinger's cave. A year's time, for strong people like Jilinger, was equivalent to a month's time, so when she saw Chen Shang, she was not too excited. Instead, Su Meiyao threw himself into Chen Zhang's embrace and hugged him tightly. They had left Chen Shang for so long, and they were not used to it either. They could not help but miss Chen Shang. Check and see if they're missing anything. Jilinger laughed. Chen Shang grinned, kissed Su Meiyao on her cherry lips, and then walked into the hall. What are you doing these days? Chen Shang asked curiously. He had Jilinger take out some delicious things. He had been refining pills over a year, eating some pills every day, and he also had to condense creation divine liquid S, so his mouth was always bitter and bitter. Bai Yu said. Just playing everywhere, eating everywhere, this heaven sacred district is truly a good place. Chen Shang laughed. Are you unwilling to leave? There is one thing, but we still have some important matters to attend to in Nine Heaven World, so we will definitely come back here in the future. Bai Yu brought up the matter of the Nine Heaven World, his expression heavy. Chen Shang naturally knew that they were going for revenge, but it might be difficult for them because they had been unable to raise their strength for many years, but their enemies had become even more powerful. Don't worry, the matters of the Nine Heaven World will be resolved soon. I will become even more powerful here. Chen Shang said firmly, then looked towards Jilinger. I already have over 20,000 Yushan Dan, I can now start to cultivate, I must break through this time. Jilinger nodded his head. I will do my best to help you. After I finish consuming all these Yushan Dan, when the time comes, I think the other pill shops will have a batch of them too, I just don't know if the Three Aurora Pavilion will send anyone to clean the shop. They also missed Long Shui a lot. Because Long Shui was a dragon, she was also worried that she would be targeted by some strong people after he came out. That's why she didn't have any intentions of coming out to take a look. After Jilinger closed up the cave, he and Chen Shang entered the secret training room and helped Chen Shang cultivate. Linger, you powerful holy maiden, how do you usually earn holy stone quickly? Chen Shang asked. He was a little curious about it, because Red Cloud seemed to be lacking a lot of holy stone s. Just 7,000 of them was enough to make her excited. I've said it before, if you want to be fast, you have to kill saint beasts, or try to get the job of managing the mines. Otherwise, if you were to do some small things in the clan, it would be hard to get a large number of holy stone. Jilinger sighed. Forget about us women, even if we were men, it would be the same. Unless we have a powerful father, it would be difficult for us to live a prosperous life. In that case, do you also rely on yourselves to obtain your cultivation resources? Chen Shang continued to ask. Every once in a while, a family or sect will hold an exam, and they will be able to obtain rich amounts of cultivation resources in an excellent way. However, there's usually something fishy about this exam, and if there's no one behind you or if you're not good enough, there's a high chance that you won't have any excellent results. Jilinger placed both of his hands on Chen Zhang's chest and injected a strong and thick energy into her, suppressing the 100 of Yushan Dan S in Chen Zhang's body to erupt at the same time. We all have real ability, so we can always obtain relatively rich resources during the exam, but it still can't compare to those guys with powerful backers. Because my father is the clan leader, he is being watched by many elders, and none of them dare to secretly help me, so if they find out, we'll have to follow the family rules and deal with it. Jilinger's voice was filled with helplessness. Although we have relatively strong powers, we will never receive too much attention. We just think that when you're useful, we will still pay a little bit more attention to you. Chapter 1537. Is the Three Sons Holy Maiden like that as well? Chen Shang asked. Right now, it seems that they should be, otherwise they wouldn't need to be so busy. Those things were originally unsuitable for them to do, but they were forcefully given to them. If they truly have status, they should be cultivating in a very good environment right now. When Jilinger thought about how these three holy maiden were similar to her, his heart inexplicably felt much better. Chen Shang could tell that Hong Sha was dissatisfied with her current situation, so he wanted to rope her in. He only had that thought, and didn't know what he should do exactly. In just 3 months, Chen Shang had completely digested all 20,000 Yushan Dan. This was all thanks to Jilinger's help, as he constantly released his energy at all times to help him cultivate. This made Chen Shang secretly feel grateful. Jilinger stood at the side, adjusting his breathing and recovering. However, Chen Shang was still sitting there, compressing the energy in his dantian. The several tens of thousands of kilograms of holy stone beside him had already turned into ordinary white stones, and all of the Holy Spirit energy had been absorbed by him. When Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu came out from the ring, they saw that Chen Shang was on the verge of a breakthrough. Previously, when Chen Shang ate the 5,000 Yushan Dan, he had already stepped into the intermediate stage of the Immortal King stage. After eating all the Yushan Dan, he had a lot of promotions, adding the large amount of Holy Spirit Qi he absorbed. He already had the conditions to break through to the late stage of the Immortal King stage. Chen Shang was currently enveloped by a silver-white mist, and his body continued to emit waves after waves of extremely rich Holy Spirit Qi. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu who were at the side had absorbed the scorching aura, and they both immediately felt a warm flow of air circulating inside their bodies, which was of great benefit to them. His situation is very complicated, and his cultivation is very different from normal. If it was any ordinary person, and with my help, they would have eaten so many grade 2 immortal Yushan Dan, he should not be far from the immortal becoming realm. But right now, he is only preparing to break through to the late Immortal King stage. Jilinger recovered quite a bit of his vitality as he looked at Chen Shang with furrowed brows. Previously, Chen Shang had told her that he had cultivated 5 heaven pellets in his body. The spirit power that was absorbed into it had entered into the beast-type heavenly pellets, making them even more powerful. They rolled around actively in the inner parts of the heavenly pellets, causing the 5 beast-type heavenly pellets to look like clouds that were emitting multicolored light. When the mist merged together, it formed a silver-white energy that overflowed from Chen Zhang's body. Just as Chen Shang was running his cultivation technique to cultivate, while carefully observing the beast-shaped heavenly pills, he suddenly saw a shocking scene. The 5 small, exquisite beast statue opened their eyes. This kind of eye was like a living beast's eye, it had a bit of spirit qi, and the eyes before was just the kind of eyes that belonged to statues. This really scared Chen Shang. He did not expect that his 5 beast-type heaven pills would actually give birth to his own spirit qi. At this time, the aura around Chen Zhang's body became more and more berserk, like a ferocious beast that was surrounding him, as if it was going to grab and break him to pieces. What happened? It wasn't like this when I broke through. Jilinger said in shock. Could it be that he is about to enter the immortal becoming realm? That is impossible. No matter how they looked at it, it did not seem to be a good thing. They clearly knew that Chen Zhang's cultivation method was indeed different from that of an ordinary person, and they had no idea what would happen if they were to continue walking forward. There were simply no instances that could be used as reference. He's absorbing a huge amount of Holy Spirit Qi. Jilinger sensed that the Holy Spirit Qi in his surroundings had become extremely thin, and a large amount of it was sucked out by Chen Shang in an instant. Seeing that, Jilinger anxiously took out many holy stones and stacked them beside Chen Shang. Not long after the holy stone was taken out, 5 illusions appeared on Chen Zhang's body. Azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, black tortoise and a gigantic beast covered in red scales. These illusions released 5 different colored light. What on earth is in his body? When Jilinger saw the 5 divine martial holy beasts appearing from Chen Zhang's body, he could not help but shout out in alarm. The spirit qi inside the holy stone was dissipating extremely quickly. Bai Yuyu frowned. Originally that should be an elephant, but now it seems to be evolving don't tell me he's going to turn into a Qilin. Su Meiyao nodded his head. That's right, it looks like a Qilin. Over the years, he has mainly focused on fire, and never would have thought that he would turn the divine elephant that is guarding the great earth into a fire unicorn. Chen Shang was also very shocked by the quick change in his body. This change happened all of a sudden, and in the beginning, it was still the beast-type heaven pills that opened their eyes, but in the end they left his body and ran out. He was completely unable to guess what would happen next. What made him at ease was that his current situation was quite stable, and the rate at which he absorbed the Holy Spirit Chi had become extremely fast. As long as he continued to operate multiple divine arts, this situation would continue. Seeing that Chen Shang had gradually stabilized himself, Jilinger heaved a sigh of relief and said, "Looks like he has really triggered an opportunity." The reason he could directly enter the immortal becoming realm might be due to the Holy Spirit Chi that he had converted in his body before. "Linger, don't worry, he'll return those holy stone to you in the future. Right now, take them out and let him get past this first." Su Meiyao said. "Do I look like such a petty person?" Jilinger giggled. In this past year, her relationship with Su Meiyao had become very good. "It seems he still needs a long time to train." Bai Yuyu said. "Linger, you must continue to suffer." The secret room was not very big, but Chen Shang needed a lot of holy stone. Jilinger was responsible for providing the holy stone to Chen Shang to absorb, so she took out a huge pile of holy stone and arranged the holy stone neatly in a few circles around Chen Shang. At this time, Chen Shang had already completely lost contact with the outside world. He realized that the divine sense C had already lost control of himself and was rolling around non-stop, while his dantian that was covered by the grayish-black mist seemed to be slowly entering the divine sense C's body. Seeing such a thing happening, Chen Shang was wild with joy, because this was the sign of the fusion of the Holy Spirit and Divine Spirit realm. He did not expect himself to enter this stage before advancing into the late stage of the Immortal King realm. "Looks like I'll have to move my dantian into the Divine Sense C from now on, but I'll have to continue cultivating my body. My divine soul and body are both equally strong," Chen Shang thought. Chapter 1538. The Divine Sense C could be said to be an unreal existence, and was only closely related to the brain. However, it was not in the brain. Long Shui had said before that the Divine Sense C was inside the Divine Soul, but the Divine Soul was actually inside the Divine Sense C, and Chen Shang was confused by what he heard. In the end, he understood himself that the Divine Sense C was just a Divine Soul, and the Divine Soul was the same as the Soul, which could not be seen with the naked eye, just like a light wisp of smoke. But now, Chen Shang had actually managed to cultivate a divine soul inside his soul, and then a divine sense C, which made him feel that it was unimaginable that when he entered the 9th cycle of the sacred transformation, everything in his dantian would actually need to be integrated into the divine sense C. This meant that he wouldn't have a dantian in the future, and his fire soul and thunder soul would all be merged with his divine soul. Moreover, there might only be jade dragon blood S and bone soul S in his body, things that belong to his body in the first place. Chen Shang really wanted to ask Long Shui, but he couldn't control his own thoughts. However, he knew that Long Shui must be clear about his current situation. At this moment, it was as if he was floating in an ethereal void, and he could occasionally see the beast statue of those gigantic martial spirits. Those 5 giant beasts seemed to be right in front of him, guarding this place. Not knowing how much time had passed, Chen Shang realized that his dantian had already completely disappeared. However, his strength had not weakened, but it had become even stronger. He anxiously looked inside the Divine Sense C, and suddenly discovered that there were 5 beast statues inside his Divine Sense C. The 4 sides were the azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and black tortoise, and the one in the middle was no longer a giant elephant, but a mighty martial qilin with golden flames spewing out of its body. His divine soul floated above the center of the sky, and was the same size as him. "These are heaven pills, right? They have become a little larger." Chen Shang was pleasantly surprised. His large dantian had already perfectly fused with the Divine Sense C, but the 5 heavenly pellet beasts were still too young. Compared to his divine soul, they were just like kittens. He observed the 5 heavenly pill beasts carefully and found that there was a light pattern revolving on their bodies, just like butterflies circling around the beast-type heavenly pill. This should be the sage transformation spirit grain that only exists in the immortal becoming realm. Chen Shang couldn't help but ask. "You are now at the 1st cycle of the sacred transformation realm, with only 1 circle of the sacred transformation realm spirit grain. These spirit grain are constantly revolving around your heaven and earth pellet, absorbing the energy of the outside world, and then raising the heaven pellet's internal energy." Long Shui said. "Congratulations, you've entered the immortal becoming realm." Chen Shang opened his eyes and saw that the surroundings were filled with white bricks. He took a deep breath and exclaimed, "All these were originally holy stone S, and were all absorbed by me." At this time, Jilinger pushed himself against a wall made of white bricks and looked at Chen Shang resentfully. That's right, do you know how many years you have cultivated and how many holy stones you have consumed? This greatly startled Chen Shang, and he anxiously asked, how long have I trained, why do I feel that it is only for a few years? Not too long ago, it was just over 200 years ago. Su Meiyao walked in and chuckled. She was very happy to see Chen Shang becoming a holy emperor. Chen Shang pulled Su Meiyao into his embrace, and gently caressed her back. Is this for real? This was the longest time Chen Shang had been in closed-door cultivation. Su Meiyao hugged him tightly, and laughed softly. You have used up all of the holy stone Ling brought from Ji clan, so that we could continue to stay here. Ling even sold some of her valuable things in exchange for the bronze jade plate. Thank you, little Ling. I'll definitely return it to you. Chen Shang smiled to Ji Ling, his heart full of gratitude towards her. Ji Ling laughed. Your sister Meiyao has already said it. If you don't return it to me, you must pawn her and you to me. We are risking our lives to be female slaves. Bai Yu said. Chen Shang chuckled. Sister Yu, who would dare to accept you as a female slave? That would be too dangerous. Don't worry, I will be able to pay off my debt soon. Ji Ling wasn't too worried. She and Chen Shang had interacted with each other for so long, they both trusted each other greatly. I'll go look for Red Cloud. She has a 3-sunset pavilion. With her help, I'll be able to find something to do soon. This was one of the reasons why he had to build a good relationship with Red Cloud before this. Speaking of red clouds, Su Meiyao and the other two girls couldn't help but sigh. Chen Shang had been in closed-door cultivation for more than 200 years, so what could happen outside? He anxiously asked, what happened to Red Cloud? Ji Ling sighed. Even the purple clouds have died. Rumor has it that they were killed by her fellow sect members, right outside Heaven's Sacred District. What's going on? Can we still find her? Chen Shang asked anxiously. She was a good person, but seeing something like this, Chen Shang felt that it was not surprising at all. After all, she had lost 2 of her sisters who had been together with her for thousands of years. She's still inside. If she leaves, she'll become very dangerous. Ji Ling said. I wonder what the 3 sisters did to infuriate an elder of the Super Holy School. Super Holy School is the faction that just appeared, right? Chen Shang asked with furrowed brows. When did Red Cloud's 2 elder sisters die? 100 years ago, Ji Ling said. At that time, they were already Super Holy School's elders and their master's position in the Super Holy School was not low either. No one expected such a thing to happen. Chen Shang frowned and thought, I'm going to look for her, something must have happened. Ji Ling stuck out his tongue. I already knew, you planned to pull her over with us. You are both women, can't you help each other out? Red Cloud is not simple, the Holy Spirit fire in her body is very powerful. I think it is also because of this reason that she is able to return to Heaven's Sacred District alive. Chen Shang said. Alright, since there is no blood feud between her and I am very willing to help her. They have once helped me as well. Ji Ling sighed. I'll bring you to look for her. She should be thinking about how to take revenge now. When Su Meiyao and Bai Yu entered the ring, they also wanted to start cultivating, mainly to cultivate their divine soul, and then use the Holy Spirit rabbit's blood to improve their flesh. Once Chen Shang was able to get a holy pellet to help them recover their strength, they might very well step into the sacred transformation realm. Chen Shang hurriedly took a bath and followed Ji Ling out of the cave. Right now, the Red Cloud also lived in these remote mountains. After all, she no longer had a backer, and since there was a grudge between the Super Holy School and herself, they must secretly obstruct her, making it difficult for her to stay in the middle of the Heaven's Sacred District. Chapter 1539. Chen Shang had originally planned to build a close relationship with a few people who were worthy of him knowing, because he would be coming back to this place in the future. At that time, he would also have someone to take care of them, and his best candidates would be Ji Ling and the 3 Sons Holy Maiden. Ling, when you see her in a bit, be a bit more polite. Chen Shang reminded her. I know, I'm not the type of person who likes to hold a grudge, but you have to think carefully. If you have a relationship with her, and the Super Holy School finds out, it's not a joke. Although this power was just established a short time ago, it's still very powerful. I don't know what methods they used to recruit many powerful families. Ji Ling said in a low voice. My Ji clan has also joined the Super Holy School. Chen Shang felt that this was not a good thing. If the Super Holy School had the power to shake the Heaven's Sacred District, what would happen? At that time, they will be able to do whatever they want to steal the holy treasures that are hidden under the Heaven's Sacred District. Jilinger thought about this, and his heart jumped. There are treasures under Heaven's sacred district. Chen Zhang's eyes lit up. The Heaven's sacred district's holy spirit chi was so dense, it made him feel that there was a dragon vein condensed from holy stone. Thought that it would be difficult for the super holy school to succeed. Even if he had that kind of thought, it wouldn't be achieved in a short period of time. Jilinger looked at the stone door of a cave with great effort. After knocking on it with a bang sound, it created quite a big commotion, and she had already brought Chen Shang to Red Dawn's cave. The stone door of the cave opened. The red clouds were wearing a simple red dress, and it no longer had its threatening aura. However, she was still very beautiful. Hong Sha didn't recognize Jilinger, but she did. Earlier, she had been waiting for Chen Shang to come find her, but so many years had passed and she still hadn't come. Now that Chen Shang had appeared in front of her, she was extremely surprised and quickly welcomed him. Red Light invited Chen Shang and the Terminator spirit to sit. She smiled lightly. I don't have any more luxurious places to entertain you. I hope you don't mind. Since Chen Shang was able to find this place, it meant that Chen Shang already knew about her situation. She was very touched that Chen Shang was able to come here, because she was now an enemy of the Super Holy School. Of course I don't mind. Your place is much better than mine. Jilinger bit a fruit and looked at the beautifully decorated little hall. It was indeed much better than where Jilinger was at. Hearing Jilinger's voice, Hong Sha immediately frowned. She hesitated and asked, "You are Jilinger?" "That's right, I didn't think you would still remember my voice." Jilinger chuckled. She took off her makeup and revealed her extremely beautiful face. Seeing the friendly and gentle smile on Jilinger's face, Red Cloud sighed. "Of course I remember, you two were actually together." The Red Cloud stared at Jilinger and smiled back. At this time, their past contradictions had already been resolved, and it was not like there was any blood feud between them, it was just a small conflict between women. Chen Shang said, "All these years, I was cultivating in seclusion, she was the one assisting me. I know a bit about the past, and that's not a big deal." Hong Sha naturally knew that Jilinger had always been wanted by the Ji clan. What made her more suspicious was that after more than 200 years had passed, the Ji clan still had not let her go. "Are you two together very early?" Red Cloud asked. "To tell you the truth, it was only with his help that I managed to successfully obtain the 3 million Jin Holy Stone S from the Ji clan. However, he had cultivated for more than 200 years and had exhausted most of those Holy Stone S." Jilinger saw Hong Sha's strange expression and immediately explained, "I'm only friends with him, not that kind of relationship. Don't misunderstand." After Red Cloud heard this, she chuckled and said, "I don't have that kind of relationship with him, so you don't need to explain." Chen Shang coughed dryly a few times. "Let's get down to business. What we lack the most right now are Holy Stone. The fastest way to earn Holy Stone is to buy a large amount of medicinal ingredients for concocting pills, and then I'll quickly refine them to sell." Jilinger looked at Red Cloud and asked, "Red Cloud, how many connections do you have right now? There are no longer any large powers going around looking for goods, so we can use a relatively low price to purchase a large amount of medicinal ingredients." Chen Shang shook his head. "I don't plan on refining a second stage Immortal Yushan Dan, the profit from that is too little, and how much are the two types of pills?" Hong Sha said, "Although I am wanted by the Super Holy School, but if I am going to buy a large amount of medicinal ingredients, many medicinal pill shops would still give me some face. The medicinal pill shops of the big sects and big clans don't need to worry about how the Super Holy School feels. A grade 3 Immortal Yushan Dan is 100 Jin 1 pellet, which is 10 times more expensive than a grade 2 Immortal Yushan Dan. A B1 Dan is a healing pellet unique to a grade 3 Immortal grade. Although the demand is not too big, many people would buy it for defense, and the price would be 200 Jin 1 pellet. Because these are all Immortal grade 3, they are not as easy to cultivate as Immortal grade 2. Therefore, the price of medicinal ingredients is rather high and the quantity is not that high." Jilinger asked, "Chen Shang, you can now concoct tier 3 Immortal pills." Chen Shang smiled lightly. "Let alone third stage, fourth stage is possible, but before that, I have to refine some second stage Immortal Tianlong Dan that I am familiar with, can you help me buy them?" Red Clouds, "How many Holy Stone on your body? All of my Holy Stone have been used for this brat's cultivation." Jilinger said in embarrassment. "I still have 800,000 pounds. It should be enough for us to use for transportation." Chen Shang said. Long Shui had not eaten anything good for many years, and although she did not make any noise, Chen Shang felt a little apologetic in his heart. Hence, he decided to properly make up for it. Hong Sha came to Jilinger's side and said with a smile, I still have over 1,000,000 kilograms of holy stone, that should be enough. Let's first earn a few more holy stones and get everyone to buy some high-level pellets to increase their strength. It had been more than 200 years since her two sisters had been killed, and she had already recovered from her grief. That was why she looked so cheerful right now. Sister Hong, can I ask you something about your two sisters? Jilinger said in a low voice, if the time comes, I can help. After all, the purple clouds have helped me before. Hong Sha sighed, thank you very much, but I would like to do this myself. They were killed by one of my senior brothers, who is also the eldest disciple of my uncle. Quote. Chen Shang said, I heard that your master also took action at that time, why is that? Chapter 1540, that's right. Right now, many people are guessing whether we have some important information or know some secrets that we shouldn't know. That's why we were killed. Red clouds hung her head, her expression was full of helplessness, this is not the reason. Chen Shang saw through something and asked, it's because of your Holy Spirit fire. Jilinger was startled, she had indeed not thought about it, because Holy Spirit fire were nothing in her eyes, but now that she saw the red clouds, she knew that Chen Shang had said it carefully. That's right, because my senior master wanted my Holy Spirit fire, he arranged for us three sisters and that senior apprentice brother to go out and do things, and only when we leave Heaven's sacred district would they dare to take action. At that time, we did not know, but after following the senior apprentice brother to their ambush point, they caught us and forced us to hand over the Holy Spirit fire. Seeing Red Cloud's sorrowful face, Jilinger walked over and hugged her to comfort her. Just as I agreed, Big Sis and Second Sis resisted, and the Big Senior fought with them. In the end, in order for me to escape, all of them he self-detonated. At this point, tears were already streaming down Red Cloud's face. Previously, Chen Shang knew how powerful the Holy Spirit fire was, he didn't think that he would be targeted so quickly. At that time, your master was there as well. Chen Shang asked. She is no longer my master. I no longer have a master like her. She betrayed us three sisters for the sake of a sacred pill. Red Cloud's face was full of anger and hatred. She clenched her jade-like fists and gnashed her teeth. One day, I will make them wish they were dead. This sort of thing can't be rushed. Take your time and prepare. Chen Shang said. You have the Holy Spirit fire, if you use it well, it will allow you to obtain a very strong power. Jilinger asked curiously, why does your senior master want your Holy Spirit fire? I know that the Holy Spirit fire are strong, but how strong are they? Although Holy Spirit fires can't refine pills, they can be used to control strong flames. They can easily control a large amount of natural sacred fire and cultivate in the body, and can also easily fuse a large amount of fire souls to make themselves stronger. Jilinger immediately understood. If he can obtain it, then his strength will definitely be many times stronger than normal. When that time comes, the several superpowers in the Heaven Sacred District will not be able to restrain him, and it will be a disaster for the Heaven Sacred District. What Chen Shang was more worried about was that Ji-Clan would tell Super Holy School about him possessing the Green Dragon Demon Slain Broadsword. Ji-Clan was now a subsidiary power of the Super Holy School. Big Sister Hong, you should sell this cave and move to my place. Jilinger wiped away the remaining tears on her face with his thumb. Yes, Linger. Hong Sha and Jilinger hugged each other tightly, their feelings for each other becoming extremely deep. After that, Chen Shang returned to Jilinger's cave alone. After changing their appearances, Hong Sha and Jilinger went to handle the matter of refining pills. Chen Shang himself was in the secret room, forcing out a large jar of Creation Divine Liquid S from his body. These Creation Divine Liquid S were condensed while he was cultivating in his sleep, and because there were too many of them, he swallowed them. I didn't expect that to be so much. Chen Shang was very excited as he took out the Holy Level S. They were the Jade Dragon Flower, the Holy Lotus Seed, the Blood Ginseng, and the Tianshan Holy Fruit. Even if there was only one type of medicinal herb, it would still be able to concoct a sacred pill, let alone four. Chen Shang could not imagine how powerful the sacred Dan meeting that was made of these four medicinal herbs was. 4 copies. Chen Shang had this plan. If he could find a pill saint, he would entrust him with the task of refining the holy pellet and give him 4 sets of ingredients. As long as he could concoct 3 holy pellets, the remaining holy level ingredients would be his reward. There was definitely a pill saint in Tiandu. Hong Sha had said before that her animal master sold them out for a holy pill. Sister Mei Yao and Sister Yu Yu will recover soon. Chen Shang suddenly became excited. He felt that the moment was getting closer and closer. He used them to make a few immortal grade 4 sacred animal fruits, and then threw them over to Long Shui to temporarily satisfy her craving. As long as he worked hard in the future, he did not lack any, and in super old sacred city, he could easily buy them. Red Cloud and Jiling returned. They went to buy Tianlong Dan's medicine, and also went to sell Red Dawn's cave. Only over 100 heavenly dragon grass. There are 500 grade 2 immortal realm sacred animal fruit. It should be enough for you to practice, right? Jiling laughed tenderly. I didn't spend much on the holy stone, buying medicinal ingredients is indeed the most worthwhile. Hong Sha nodded her head. Yes, I bought 1,000 sets of 3rd grade immortal grade Yushan Dan and 1,000 sets of Biwan Dan. In total, I only bought 60,000 holy stone. Chen Shang took the storage bag they passed to him and asked, what about the immortal 4th pin? There are no grade 4 immortal Yushan Dan, only other types of immortal pills, but most of them require 2 types of immortal pills as the main ingredient. The price is quite high and there aren't many of them, you have not been able to refine them yet, and it will definitely be very difficult. Hong Sha said. Now that you have refined the Yushan Dan of the 3rd grade immortal, after I sell it, I can make a name for myself. It will be much easier to buy those of the 4th grade immortal. Let's talk about tier 4 immortal pills later. Come over and sit down. Seeing that the 2 girls were confused, Chen Shang laughed. I want to pass on my techniques to you, it might be of some help to you too. Hearing that Chen Shang wanted to pass the cultivation technique, Jiling immediately skipped over to Chen Zhang's side and sat down. She had been thinking about Chen Zhang's change in technique for a long time. She had already fulfilled her promise and helped Chen Shang increase his strength, and stepped into the immortal becoming realm. After Jiling sat down, he placed one hand on her forehead, and then, using the secret technique that Long Shui had taught him, he passed down the change in technique that he was familiar with to Jiling. Very quickly, the image of the transformation appeared in Jiling's mind, making her jump into Chen Zhang's embrace in excitement, and she kissed Chen Zhang's lips. Sister Hong, it's your turn. Chen Shang touched his lips, licked his lips and laughed. Jiling hurriedly ran towards the secret room without even greeting Chen Shang. Chen Shang and Red Cloud knew that she was going to train. Hong Sha didn't know what kind of contribution Chen Shang was going to teach her, but she still sat down. Even if she didn't learn, it wouldn't harm her at all. Chen Shang had passed on the Fire Divine Palace's Fire God method to her. This was a godly skill that the Fire Emperor was known for being a hero in the past, and it was said that the 9 Heaven World did not have it in the first place. After obtaining the Fire God method, Red Dawn immediately stood there in a daze, trying to comprehend the cryptic chants written above. Just by skimming through, she was able to tell that the Fire God method was extremely powerful. This is not my main cultivation technique, but it is very useful to me. I hope you can expand it. Chen Shang said.